What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson, and today we're going to be talking about Super Bowl 59 Sunday. We got the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Big matchup. And today I'm joined by my guy, Jaden Klein, the sports fiend. Hey, finally got this man on the channel. Wanted him on the channel a long time. Finally got him on here. Best of the best on here. And we got William on here. How you feeling, Will? How you feeling?
Feeling good, happy to be on the channel for the first time, talk sports, just happy to be
You know.
here.
You already know, bro. And Julian, regular guest of the lives, he's back again, man. And we got a few other guests who might join in mid live. But guys, the Super Bowl is Sunday, and I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Like I know there's people out there that's like not too hyped this year. I know there might be some drops. Maybe there'll be drops in viewership. I don't think so though. It's the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. Who, no matter if the Chiefs is in it and you don't like them, the Eagles in them, in it and you don't like it. This is the big one, man. Super Bowl Sunday. How are y'all feeling?
So I feel
So,
good, man. Oh, go ahead. I want to
oh,
wait
you
till
go
last.
first, you go first. I don't want
Nah,
to talk.
no. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was about to say, me, I was just my team, but it's the Super Bowl. Like, who's not going to look at a Super Bowl, whether it's for the concert, Kendrick Lamar, whether it's for, the 50 billion times they showed Taylor Swift, it's the Super Bowl. So who's not going to want to watch it? So, I'm always watch it. Just wish it was my team, but it's still the Super Bowl. So,
For
yeah.
sure.
Uh, this Super Bowl feels a little different. Um, and I can't identify why it feels different. But this doesn't feel like the big ambiance of what it was. Maybe it's because my team was that close to making it to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's the reason it feels different. We're in Cancun now, but yeah, it just feels different. I can't describe this feeling. It's just weird. I'm ready for the Super Bowl, but it just doesn't feel like the lead up to the Super Bowl the way it always feels. So maybe it's because it was close.
Yeah, I agree with that last point. It kind of feels like I'm excited it's a Super Bowl, but it doesn't feel as grand. We knew the Chiefs were gonna be back in it, and I'm pretty sure I think I had the Eagles without the NFC at the beginning of the year. So rematch, we gonna see.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of understand that viewpoint. I know, like some of my classmates who I talked to, throughout this week, was talking about the Super Bowl, and they kind of was like all on the same accord of kind of like, yeah, we're feeling okay because like nobody really wanted the Chiefs back in it, but I'm one of the few people. Like people ask me about the Chiefs, I'd be like, I don't really have a problem with the Chiefs. I really don't. I mean, I see people who like really don't like the Chiefs because of the whole Taylor Swift thing with Travis. Like, first of all, you could say that okay, maybe they show her too much, it's annoying, but really, bro, like it's not ruining the game at all, bro. Like, come on, man. And then people don't like Patrick Mahomes. They think he's corny. They think he wins too much. The refs, the glazing, all that stuff. I don't have a problem with the Chiefs. I really don't. I think if they win, it'll be cool. I mean, I really don't like. I mean, I really don't dislike the Chiefs, but I will say I can understand people's viewpoint on that. Like, if the Lions had made it instead of the Eagles, I'd be like, oh my gosh, let's see the Lions win it for the first time instead of the Chiefs winning it again. But whether the Eagles win or the Chiefs win, it is what it is. But I can't lie. There is a team in which I would rather have win. I think you guys know, but I'll say that once we get into predictions, score predictions, and all that. But um, even before we get into the Super Bowl topic, because I know um, we could briefly discuss last night with the awards. I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that because uh, I have my own opinions on that, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I saw a lot of people posting their opinions too, and the MVP, Coach of the Year, even Comeback Player of the Year, all rubbed me the wrong way. I disagreed with a lot of the awards, to be honest. But how'd y'all feel about that?
So, me, MVP, I think it should have been Lamar. Like, I know the head to head, but it's a regular season award. So I'll say the best player in the regular season should have won that award. Um, Comeback player of the year. I don't think it should have been Sam Donald because for it to be comeback player of the year, he has to have like come back. Like he was never good to begin with, so it was no point in him winning that award. So that's why I say Joe Burrow, he won that award, rightfully. Coach of the year, I feel Dan Quinn, he was definitely like disrespected in that award. Like for him to be like fourth or fifth, he should definitely have been, in my opinion, like top three in that award. Um, But I say, I think Dan Campbell should win that award over Kevin O'Connor. But yeah, he did lead the Vikings to being 14-3, a team that, began season nobody felt should even be close to the playoffs. So he did, lead them all the way there. But I still feel like, Dan Campbell, he just like did stuff that, no other coach, no other team, period, like in NFL history was like, eclipsing with that offense they had. I know that was like, Ben Johnson, mastermind behind all that, but I still feel that Dan Campbell should win that award.
Oh man, I'm with you, dog. Like I can't believe that Dan Campbell or Dan Quinn didn't win that award. Now I personally picked Dan Quinn to win the award. Because I felt like, everybody's going to talk about how, regular season Dan Campbell had more wins or whatever, and it's a regular season award. But I just think that what impressed me most was like flipping a 4-win team to 12. And I know they don't take into account the whole playoffs and all that stuff, but it was impressive to me the way he did that. So I would have gave it to Dan Quinn. But like the fact that Dan Campbell the past 2 years isn't winning, like, I mean, I would have thought at least in the past 2 years he would have got one coach of the year. But like the way they gave it to, Kevin O'Connell, and not even just Kevin O'Connell, because I don't want to use him as a scapegoat, but like with a lot of these awards, I feel like they have to start expanding the award consideration to the playoffs. They have to. Because Kevin O'Connell, no disrespect, but he hasn't won anything. He hasn't won anything. He hasn't won a playoff game. And he when he made it to the playoffs and was very close to winning a playoff game, he lost to Daniel Jones. So I mean, coach of the year, I feel like not just that, but also with a lot of awards, you have to expand it. But my guy, Mr. Ron, is in the building. Mr. Ron, how you feeling? What's going on?
Feeling a little moody right now. My boy Eli,
Not in enemy territory no more. I'm a Giants fan too.
Should have known,
Mr.
should have
Ron.
known I was around good company. I'm feeling a little salty right now, but at the end of the day, I'm always feel the privilege of being a part of the Fourth and Sports Gold show. I love this show, man. It's so authentic, grassroots, and just love, man, chopping up with you guys, man. I always get something from your shows, man. Something that I never really, knew before. So it's always good to be here, man. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Good to see y'all. We was just chopping it up about before we get into the Super Bowl talk. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit before you joined in, but we were talking about the NFL awards last night. The results. I did feel a certain way about some of the awards, and we're just talking, see how everybody was feeling about that.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I recall what we talked about with the show a few weeks ago. If you remember, I said the biggest problem for Lamar was when they put Derrick Henry on his team, and I remember thinking about that deal over the summer, and I said, well, now, of course, the expectations are going up as usual. You add star power. But now, all of a sudden, the star power of Lamar now has to be shared with the spotlight of DH and, all the dynamic things that's going on. And when you put that type of team around him, second year players that's improving, good running attack. Now all of a sudden, it's kind of diminishing his ability to do a lot of those special things that he does. And I think we talked about it on this show. You guys can go back to it, of how I felt that because Allen, Josh lost a lot. We already know a lot of the players that they could have paid, they didn't pay to let those guys walk. A guy like a dynamic receiver like Diggs, he's over in Houston. And so now when Josh is playing, all eyes are on him and looking at him now for what he's able to do. And so it kind of elevates it. The thing that irritates me the most with this is that I wish they would be consistent with these awards. If you look in years past and you see something like that, and they don't give it to that guy. And then now you kind of say, okay, whoever has the best statistics or whoever's the most valued. And so now you kind of see where, unfortunately, these sports writers kind of have us by our throats in a sense, because how do we know which way it's going to go? So, yeah, really tough on that one. But I figured it was well-deserved for whoever was the one player that if he wasn't on that team, what would he have? And speaking to your guy, I mean, Jaden Daniels, let's be real. I mean, what he did this year was electric, and we know we haven't seen anything like that in the NFC division in quite some time. I can't recall any quarterback coming in and impact right away like that in our division. So, so that was kind of like my take on that particular award.
I would have to agree. I think the voting is too inconsistent. We don't know what's the criteria. 1 year is statistics, 1 year there's impact. I heard a little bit of Dan Orlovsky take on why he voted for Josh Allen. I don't know if this is like the first year we've seen like exactly who's voted and who's voted for who. I don't really remember, but like his explanation was he was like more impactful. But if you really think about like impact, even though Josh Allen is very valuable to the organization, I could think of two players that are as equally valuable to their teams as he was. Like Saquon and Jaden. I'm sorry, it's just gonna have to come one of those type of lives tonight. But like his reasoning to me kind of wasn't like a great reasoning for me, just thinking about it. But I just think they're a little too inconsistent, and it needs to be a clear cut criteria of what they want. Coach of the year, I 100% don't agree with it. I wanted. Of course, I said I wanted Dan Quinn or Dan Campbell, but I didn't really get that coach of the year. That didn't kind of make sense. I get that he kind of, I won't say turned around the team, but it just wasn't consistent. So yeah. Outside of that, everything else I kind of agree with, but I think the committee needs to be more consistent and have a actual criteria of how they're going to actually get.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I got my man Johannes in here. What's going on, Johannes?
What's up, Tyrus? How's everybody doing? I don't know if I'm the only one representing the Chiefs, but
I've never seen a Chiefs fan in my life. You may be the first one.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen one in my life. Actually,
who's that, Jared? What number is that?
Is that Jamal Charles?
25.
Yeah, I could tell.
I guess. I mean, I guess. At least you didn't come on in here with a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
Yeah.
I give you that.
I guess.
I would call you a bandwagon at that point.
Yeah. Jamal Charles, he was solid. They had to make sure.
Boys, this Sunday will be another Super Bowl. Another Super Bowl.
I hope so.
But what was you saying,
I
Mr. Ron?
Eagles. I
didn't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Ron. What was you saying?
No, I mean, I really agree with what Julian was saying. I mean, you think about it from a perspective. You have a Sam Darnold who comes out, top pick, goes to New York City, and has the opportunity to play for the Jets. And if you guys don't know about the wear and tear, and I think outside of Kansas City fan here, he probably can't relate to this, but teams like the Redskins, teams like the Eagles, the teams like the Giants, the pressure to play in these cities is insurmountable pressure. I mean, the pressure just from interior fan bases. I mean, you got fan bases that were out there, that will be out there until the last guy comes out, heckling and badgering, and shows like this popping up all over the place. And so the pressure to play in a place like New York, now this guy gets to go way out to Minnesota somewhere where people just are so happy and so cold and just so cheerful. You know, they don't care. You know, not like we do over here in the Eastern Conference. And so to go out there, you put your feet back, and he gets this great season out of him. And then you drop a guy like Jaden Daniels in a thirsty, hungry, savage market in D.C., the DMV. And now, as a rookie, this guy has to come out. I don't care how many years he played in college.
Hold on. DC, you can't compare Washington, DC to New York. Like, before Jaden Daniels, Commanders fans is not one of those fans that's unruly. Like,
what does that mean?
Let's be
Whoa.
honest.
What you trying to say?
Look,
Like, we can't compare Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell, Sam Darnold, and say Sam Darnold was failing because he was in New York. I mean, no. Part of that was coaching too. Kevin O'Connell.
I mean, that's actually I think that's a. I was gonna say that might
football right now.
That's a good point.
Sam Darnold didn't play well because he was in New York. That's all. That's the only point right here.
Not just that, but the point, Mr. Ron, and I think both of y'all are kind of right in your own respects, to a certain extent. Sam Darnold being a young quarterback drafted into New York, you got to have a tough skin for that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be built different. Sam Darnold's not built different. And the Vikings, no disrespect to Vikings fans, but like, he's just a quarterback that can only take you so far. He's not going to take you. Sam Darnold is not taking a team to the NFC Championship, or like he's just not built like that. But Jaden, being drafted into DC, no, it's not New York. I get that, but it's still very tough to come into Washington DC, the nation's capital, and do that as a rookie. It's tough.
No. It's not even a top 10 NFL market right now.
I would say
all time. Are we talking about
right now?
Right
now, we're talking about right now. They're not
right now,
it isn't either.
Have you watched football this year? We definitely are a top 10 market, bro.
Because of Jaden Daniels insurrecting your franchise last year, nobody was watching your games.
I don't care what it's because of. It's facts. We are a top 10 market, and people are watching our games now. Who cares about last year? The past is the past, man. Hey, you don't see
about
Jaden
Daniels.
Mr. Ron, you don't see Tyrus Wilson flexing rings from 1991, but I'm going to flex the one that Jaden Daniels gets in a few years. That's what I'm going to flex. I don't flex for rings from the past. I flex rings that I know we coming. You know, that's all I'm saying.
It hasn't happened yet.
Come on, bro.
It happened first.
I would also say
that the Coach of the Year award to me should have gone to. It should have gone to the Commanders coach. That's what I think. To get what you got out of a rookie, we saw that team last year. The Giants and Daniel Jones. And no disrespect to Daniel Jones, you literally own the Commanders. I mean, this guy was throwing the ball all over the place out there, running, throwing, doing whatever he wants. As a matter of fact, I have to say it's you guys' fault why this freaking guy got a contract. You know, we should have got rid of him when we had a chance, but we didn't. We blew it. And we looked at the way he played in those teams. So my point is, you know, if you're going to give a guy a Coach of the Year award, you got to look at the entire system. You can't just say, oh, they won all these games. You got to look at everything that goes into that, you know, and what those teams are up against. And let's face it, the Vikings came out of nowhere. We get it. They were a solid football program before he kind of got there. But that's just my take. You know, I look at things that you don't see often and use those as parameters when I give out those type of awards. That's all I'm saying on that. That's what I would have done. But at the end of the day, again, about the markets, we can go on and on about that. I mean, obviously, that plays into it. But again, to put a rookie and be able to coach this guy up to do the things that he did and to get those guys to trust him, because that's what people are missing. It's hard to trust a young player. I don't care how good they are. It's hard to trust a young player. You have veteran guys and looking in that locker room like, who's this kid? The last time I could recall seeing something like that, I don't even recall it, to be honest with you, as such a young quarterback. So that's my take on that. But,
And this is just a quick point before I pass it on. With Coach of the Year, and I think you kind of expressed how like you think it needs to be Dan Quinn or should have been Dan Quinn. Like I said, you can make the case it should have been Dan Campbell. I would respect that, but Kevin O'Connell, I don't see it. But like even with Dan Campbell, he took a team that was first in their division. They were 12-5, first in their division last season. This season, first in their division, 15-2. They get the 1 seed. So like, I mean that's impressive, but I'd argue that taking a team from 4 wins to 12 is more impressive than that. Especially, like I said, it's a regular season award, unfortunately, but especially with the fact that they got the 1 seed and it meant diddly squat. They didn't accomplish anything with it.
I think it kind of goes back to my point I made at the beginning of talking about the award. I think it just needs to be a criteria. Like, what is the actual criteria? What are they looking at? Because it changes. Because I honestly say D'Amico Ryans probably should have won it last year. So like, is it gonna be like who's improved from last year to this year? Is it gonna be most wins? Is it gonna be? I can't even think of the reason why Kevin O'Connell won it. Even though I love him, the Commanders should have signed him when we had the chance. But it's okay. Everybody's favorite offensive guru came from our franchise. Daniel Snyder is going to absolute hell for what he did for my team for 30 years of my life. But I think it just needs to be like a criteria that we know this is what it's gonna be. Did they release Executive of the Year? That's the one that I really care about. That's the one I'm gonna get real heated about.
Yes.
Who won Executive of the Year?
Detroit,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not crazy at all. Honestly, I'm not even mad at that because, okay, yeah, I know we want it to be Adam Peters, and I'd probably pick Adam Peters too. But the Lions GM is like that. I know he went to North Carolina A&T. That guy, what he did for the Lions is very similar to Adam Peters. It's very similar. So like I don't have a problem with the Lions. Like I said, coaching, I really appreciate their coach. I really like their coach, Dan Campbell, great coach. I would have loved to see him win it. Would have loved to see or Dan Quinn win it. And I feel the same way with like the executives. You could give Lions or Commanders. So I'm not really mad at that. Not mad at that for sure.
Well, I guess the only things I have a problem with, of course, MVP should have been Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's not even a conversation. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon. Defensive Player of the Year, I like Hendrickson because he led the league in sacks. But I also think Stingley should have been in the nominations as well, so did Zach Bond. But Surtain winning him, I have no problems with that. Offensive Rookie of the Year, of course, Jaden Daniels. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse. Coach of the Year, I do think it's Dan Quinn, but we do have to make a conversation Dan Campbell. We do have to make a conversation for Dan Quinn. But when we're talking about head coach of the year, it's Dan Quinn. But coaching staff, then we have to have more conversations. But pretty much that's it.
One more statement about this awards. For them not putting Cliff in assistant of the year, that's kind of disrespectful.
I just wait. I just matter of fact, I know we talked about that last live, and I was saying the same thing. Like they should have Cliff should be on there. I just thought about something, right? It's
over who?
The title of I said so last live we were talking about assistant coach of the year when we were talking about NFL honors predictions, right? Now in the assistant coach of the year race or candidates, Joe Brady, Buffalo Bills coordinator, is on there, And obviously, he's not better than Cliff Kingsbury as an OC. So I don't even know why he's on there. No disrespect to him, but he's not better than Cliff Kingsbury. But I just thought about something.
I don't
Assistant,
know. That's
the
a
title of
conversation
the
we had.
award. The title of the award is Assistant Coach of the Year, and Cliff Kingsbury is technically not an assistant coach for the Commanders. Brian Johnson, former Eagles coach, is the assistant coach on the Commanders. So I think
He's a
that
coordinator?
maybe that plays a part. You said what?
He's just a coordinator. I'm
Yeah, he's
assuming
just
that.
the OC.
Yeah, I think they gave no disrespect, but I think they gave Brian Johnson just like a title for that because I mean I don't understand how he's possibly the assistant coach of the Commanders. But they a lot of times when they make some of these hires, they give certain people titles that looks good on resumes. So yeah, the assistant coach of the Commanders is Brian Johnson.
I think he's the passing game coordinator too. Like he's the assistant coach, but also the passing game coordinator. So they like just.
What
gave
is
him
that job?
title.
Like, what do you do as a passing game coordinator? Like, what do you
I
actually
have
sit
no
there
clue
and do?
because I'm like, you're not the
That
offensive
just seems like
coordinator.
a job that you just get paid just to do nothing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, what
It
you
might be
mean?
like a consultant position.
Okay.
That's the owner's next door neighbor's son. Unbelievable.
I mean, he
Yeah.
went from the Eagles offensive coordinator to the Commanders pass game coordinator and assistant coach. So like that's definitely like, you know, a step down, but he'll get back up. He'll get back up. I think
Yeah,
Brian
his name-
Johnson is the coach.
Jaden giving people jobs anyway, so it
Yeah,
don't matter.
he
He's gonna get
is.
a head coaching job or OC job anyway. So I mean, everybody wanted our coaching staff anyway, so it don't matter.
All these teams requesting for our coaches, man.
Yeah.
Josh Harris said in his presser that he's trying to keep everybody in the building. We're trying to run it back.
Yeah.
Do we see a slump? Like, let me ask you this. I know this is off topic, but when I come across a Commanders fan, I just always have to ask, what is your record prediction? How many games are you losing next year?
Bro. That is way too early.
I just want to know. I
Way
just want to
too
know. This
fast.
is for my.
You want me to be honest with you?
I want you to be honest, completely honest. Like, just tell me how many games you think you're losing next year. I didn't need this.
15.
We got 11. 11 wins.
You won 11 games. Okay, because Commanders fans tell me they only lose in 3 games.
I say we're going 13-4. 13-4.
I don't see 12 plus wins again. I see 11. I see
Here's
11
my answer.
and take it to the divisions.
Here's my answer. We're gonna win more games than the New York Football Giants. That's all you got to worry about.
That's not
bro.
even a tough
We're winning
thing
more
to do.
games than y'all.
That's not even tough.
And
to do.
All
we're gonna
right, bro.
beat
This
you
is one season that's been out of character. Like, we always beat y'all. So you talk now.
You
I
beat
remember we
us.
beat
Y'all
y'all
always
for
been
You
playoffs.
beat
trash.
us with Ron Rivera, bro.
We've always
That
been
guy's
trash. We have 2
Yes.
Super Bowls since I've been alive. What
You
you
beat
mean?
us
we
with-
always
That
been
was like
trash?
10 plus
Listen,
years ago. We talking about
you
recent.
beat
Where's
us.
y'all bowls? Where's y'all
Bro,
bowls?
you beat us
In a
when
couple
Dan
of
Snyder
years,
was
I
we
mean,
gonna
it's
have
2
one.
bowls,
At
bro.
Harris
I,
Pass.
I got the hats
Harris
and
Pass.
everything.
Let me just make
Okay,
a quick
okay, I'll give it to you. Though.
statement here, and I'm
Y'all
gonna say
been
this
there.
about the Giants. And Tyrus, I kind of had this holding on to this. Okay, when you look at the New York Giants, what's very similar to what happened with you guys in a sense, right? You guys picked up some big time free agents. You guys started shoring up the offensive line. Yeah, some very talented young guys, young players. Obviously, Sam Howell was able to kind of show a little bit, get everybody kind of juices flowing and everything. The difference that a quarterback can make and a couple of key linemen on that offensive line can literally change the Giants' dynamic overnight. So
Like,
let's
and we
keep
have
it
so much
100.
talent on our roster as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're
I can
there.
argue our team is more talented than y'all.
So you
Make
put
your
a piece
argument.
here, you plug a guy on the line, you get a defensive back. Now all of a sudden you got a competent quarterback, and now all of a sudden the weapons that you have begin to look even better than they were before. Because I don't think it's about the talent. I think the Giants drafted very well. I think the problem is, again, and we all know what the problem was, the Saquon dynamic, the cloud hanging over our heads, and of course the quarterback. But now all of a sudden you kind of move past that and anything's possible. So I don't know. I've seen it before. You know, it only takes a couple of key players, and picking third and having all these key picks that we have this year. I absolutely trust Brian Dable. I don't care what nobody says. I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago. I wish the owner of the Giants, Mara, would have called me in the office if I was Brian Dable. First of all, I would have came in his office and sat all my rings right on the table in front of his face. These are my rings at Alabama. These are my rings with the New England Patriots. What you got to say? I know what I'm doing. You see that quarterback over in Buffalo? We picked that guy. We put that offense together. That's our offense in Buffalo. So if you want something close to that, sit down, stay out of our way like James Dolan did with the Knicks. Keep your mouth shut and let us put the Giants back on the map. That's what I would have said if I was Brian Dable. I know he didn't say that, but that's what I would have said. So I believe in Dable. I believe in what we're doing. So I don't know what you guys are going to win next year, but I can tell you one thing. It's not going to be as easy as it was.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And a tougher schedule.
That's
You got to
why I
go
like
to
it.
Arrowhead.
Quick
like
question for the Giants fan. Just quick questions. I know it's off topic. Just want to know. I had two questions. Do you feel like the reason you guys had great picks and great pickups and because of this talent is because you guys always draft so high in the draft, or is it actually just the organization can actually draft, develop, retain players? And the second question is, who is your choice if y'all get to the point where y'all can draft one of the two quarterbacks? Who do y'all want? Like, I hear just conflicting things from Giants fans. It's Shedeur one day. It's Cam Ward. If I'm really being honest with y'all, I wouldn't draft either of them. I would honestly trade back against.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know.
I agree. I don't think either of them are NFL ready. I think Cam Ward's the most NFL ready out of both of them. He has the best arm. He's more accurate. I think we should tank another year and get Archie. I think that story will be there. Archie Manning back in New York. That's what we should do. And we draft well. We have a lot of sneaky picks. That's later rounds. Xavier McKinney, who's all pro in Green Bay. He was a second rounder. I mean, we have a lot. Deonte Banks, one of the best young corners in the league. And I'm just naming defense right now. So Tyrone Tracy Jr., I mean.
Are these guys that y'all drafted or y'all have like signed? I don't want signees. I want like
drafted. Every guy named we drafted. Every guy named we drafted.
Okay.
I mean, look, I get it. You guys draft some good players. I mean, the Tyrone Tracy is a solid player. Like he's cool, but like
he's better than y'all running back. Both of them.
Yeah, he is.
Poor man,
he's better
Shane
than our
Green.
I'll take. No, I'm with you. I'll take
Brian
Tyrone
Robinson.
Tracy. I'll take Tyrone Tracy over B-Rob. But you know, here's the thing. I get it. Anything can happen. Anything can happen before we move on to the Super Bowl discussion. I know we've been dragging this, but like anything can happen with the Giants next year. I like competition. So the NFC East is the most competitive division in football. And when you got the like next year, I agree with you. It's gonna be more tough. It's gonna be harder because first of all, the Eagles are gonna do what they do. We saw what they did to us in the NFC Championship. The Eagles are the big dog right now. They do what they do, right? The Cowboys are coming back next year. The Cowboys are coming back next year, and I think if they draft Ashton Jonty, they may be the favorite to win the division. And then, you know, you got teams in our division that are just really tough. And then us, I feel like we made it to the NFC Championship with scraps. Now, this offseason is very big. If we get some big guys, some free agents, you know what I'm saying? You hear the rumors with Myles Garrett, all that type of stuff. So we have to get some moves, right? I just don't see it's no slate. There's no disrespect. I just don't see how the Giants can turn it around in 1 year. It's going to be a 2-year, 3-year process. And even if you draft Shedeur or Cam Ward, they're not gonna win the division. Nobody, I don't even see nobody winning the division.
You believe Jaden Daniels was going to win the division last year?
Hold on, quick question. What if we bring Russell Wilson over there?
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's terrible.
Bring Russell Wilson, right? Bring Russell Wilson, right?
Man.
Russell Wilson
games just by default.
But like we need a generational, like we need a franchise quarterback. We don't need like somebody to hold the quarterback position and be a placeholder.
No, but that's what y'all need right now,
You
though.
are Manning next year, so Russell would probably ruin that.
Yeah.
Y'all, no, Russ. Even if you get Russ, he'd still be the worst quarterback in the division. And it's just time for the Giants to maybe consider making some, like, think differently. Who knows? Maybe you give Drew Lock a chance to start next year, right? And then your plan is to get Arch Manning. Next year, y'all don't have a chance. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, Drew Lock in there, you get Arch Manning. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because y'all not winning the division next year. You're not making the playoffs.
Knowing
your mindset has to change, and it's no disrespect. I'm just being realistic. Like, if my quarterback,
why are we
downplaying?
I don't like how we're downplaying like the 4-time Super Bowl champion New York Giants like organization. Like, do you not understand who we are, bro? We used to run the NFC East. Have some respect on our name. This is your first time up on this pedestal. Like, still remember who we are, bro. I'm just saying.
When was the last time y'all won the NFC East?
That's what I'm saying.
You just
the last time we won the actually
you just turned 20.
It wasn't when y'all went to the Super Bowl. It was like
we kicked the Commanders out the Super Bowl and we won the division. And we played Green Bay in a wild card with OBJ and Manning. Y'all could have went to the playoffs, but you know who stopped y'all? We did, and this is y'all second time in the playoffs since then.
Hey, who was our quarterback then? Wasn't it Kirk Cousins?
Bro, that's good.
Oh,
man,
this is Jaden Daniels' rookie season, bro. Like, y'all acting like he's God.
Hey, we can't live with the president.
My goodness,
Jalen Daniels is here right now.
Thank you, man. Like, what is wrong with this guy, man?
Y'all act like he's God, bro. Like,
I
knowing
don't
the Giants
see the Giants being a quarterback like that anytime soon.
Knowing the Giants organization, y'all probably will mess up and not draft high enough.
Yeah,
y'all probably will win too many games just to try to prove a point.
Bro, knowing the Giants organization, like that is crazy to say.
Just to prove something.
Like, y'all 1 year removed from the Dan Snyder era. Y'all talk about our organization.
I think what Jaden's
probably
doing,
gonna have like a Tommy DeVille type, run and win the last 2 games that don't even matter.
Y'all are ridiculous, bro. Commanders fans are so insufferable.
I mean, I think
let us win the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be worse. I'm gonna be absolutely horrible.
I think
if we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, guys. That's not gonna happen.
I think what Jaden's doing is like, okay, there's certain fans who, like, what's your fan base? Let's say you're in a room full of Giants fans. You're a Giants fan. You're talking with your Giants fans. Y'all can all agree, because Washington fans have done this too. We'll be talking to Washington fans. We'll be like, man, our ownership sucks. We're trash. We're terrible. Then when you talk to other fans, you're trying to say, hype your team up like you're good. Bro, the Giants organization right now, not 10 years ago,
are like on a high
right now, the Giants organization is not good, bro.
Y'all weren't talking like this last year to us.
My organization right now, bro.
I love the trash talk.
You're talking about 10 years ago. I'm talking about right now. You're talking about OBJ.
I'm going to disagree.
It was just an MC championship game.
And I'm going to disagree for one reason.
Right.
One reason only.
I'm an enemy territory. I got it. I love it. I love it.
In the people that's there right now in the building, Joe Shane and Brian Dable, I believe in them.
So Shane, he's not.
Because they were firing everybody every single year. They were firing and firing and firing. You have to bring stability into an organization. You can't just keep firing everybody every single year, because the players don't have no respect for you as a coach if they know you're not going to be there tomorrow. They're like, whatever, get out of here. So if you establish in a culture that the coach is the coach, now when I tell you, if you don't do this or that, you're not playing, now all of a sudden those players perform. So kudos to the Giants, because everybody and their mother was like, oh, they're going to get rid of these guys. I was like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They want to bring stability. And it's the same thing. And I don't like to use basketball, but it's the same thing with the Knicks. When they kept firing and firing and firing and firing and firing. You left Thibodeau there. Now all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 4, here we go. Now, Dable has already shown you he could take your quarterback, not my quarterback, and go to the playoffs and win a game against the Minnesota Vikings, who we just talked about. You have to look at that for what it's worth. So we know he has the talent. We see what he has there. We've seen Tracy. We've seen receivers. I'm so sorry I can't remember the guy's name, but rookie that caught over 1,000 balls. We've seen these things happen So we have to look at these guys and say, give them a little more time. Let's see what happens. So I disagree. I think the Giants are doing what they're supposed to do. They stabilize in their organization so that now that they have a foundation, the coaches are not going nowhere, the general managers are not going nowhere. They go back to the well. They start putting more players in there. Now you start to bring that sustainability. Because I was a kid. I remember when Parcells, his first year, he was horrible. I remember when Tom Coughlin got there, he was horrible. Eli Manning was throwing the ball all over the damn place. I saw it. And
Speaking
the next
of
thing you
Eli,
know, 4 years later, we're crossing the line for a Super Bowl. So patience.
Mr. Ron, speaking of Eli Manning, that brings me to another topic because with the NFL awards last night, I felt like this is something we could probably agree on. I felt like Eli Manning, the disrespect, not just last night, but throughout the years has been honestly disgusting. Eli Manning, when people really debate that, oh, he's not a Hall of Famer, he's not first ballot, he should have been first ballot. Eli Manning, and you know, when we get into the Super Bowl discussion, it's great that we have you on, Mr. Ron, because you witnessed those times where Eli Manning overcame Goliath, David versus Goliath, and he got it done, right? So we're going to see, can Jalen Hurts do that on Sunday? Can Jalen Hurts do that on Sunday? We're going to see. We're going to see.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is facing Goliath, though. I think Jalen Hurts is the Goliath.
He is, buddy. He's facing Goliath. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of this generation, and he's the Tom Brady of this generation. Let's not act like he's not into it.
With the ref.
I like this Jalen Hurts comparison.
We'll get into it.
And just to get into it, since we can go into it, but the thing with Jalen Hurts and Eli, which is very similar, is their regular season statistics. And then when the Giants had those down years, they were like way down. And then when they got there, and that's what most of us look at, you know, as big time sports fans. We like the regular season, but I'm sure all of us sitting here right now, except for our Yo Chiefs fan, all of us are sitting here like, yeah, we love seeing Daniels do all of that. We love this, we love that, but we would give anything to be going to the Super Bowl right now and then to win it. So back to your point, Tyrus, a great point. Eli's regular season statistics was always just like there. Some years 4,000 or 5,000 yards, 4,000 yards throwing, some years not. Then, of course, those down years were very down, but his great years were very great. And so he's the victim of that, just like Jalen Hurts. I've talked to Eagles fans all the time. They despise this guy. Oh, he's terrible. He holds the ball too long. He does this. He does that. Blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, the big game, he goes out. That's what he does. So I think he's going to suffer a similar fate as Eli unless he, starts padding the stats up in his next few years. Maybe not.
I have to interject. Everybody know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. We ain't gonna compare him to Eli Manning.
Yeah, we can't compare him. Eli Manning threw for
like what Eli Manning did with that
yards.
team he had and the numbers he done put up. I may have been young, but I remember seeing Eli.
But Eli Manning was very mediocre in the regular season. Like he was very mediocre, and then when he hit those playoffs, he will turn it up a notch.
Take it up.
So Jalen Hurts, I haven't seen him go and turn it up a notch in the playoffs. This run he's having right now, he's having the mid-run. His defense is Saquon is carrying his team right now. It's not Jalen Hurts. But I think Patrick Mahomes has a big task because he's facing the best balanced team in football on Sunday. And Patrick Mahomes himself has not been playing good either. Like you can argue that Jaden Daniels is playing better than Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. We can argue that. I'm not gonna be mad about that. So
you could argue that, but Chiefs just keep winning. Like I think the thing with Patrick Mahomes is he just finds a way, regardless if the defense steps up, offense steps up. I think the last 17 games it was a 1-score win, so we're not blowing teams out. But I think the coaching is so elite that I'm not even worried anymore. Like when the seconds are coming down the last minute, I'm like, okay, I know what they're about to do because they've been doing it every week. So, yeah, he could not be playing his best because every other department is playing the puzzle and, like, fitting inside the puzzle. They're doing their piece. I'm not even worried. So, I think structurally we're good, and because of that, from the coaching to the defense to the offense to special teams, because everyone is doing their thing, I'm really not worried. The only person I'm worried about is Barkley, but other than that, I'm not really worried. I think it's gonna be a close game, but we're gonna win.
I think Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't have to be Superman. I think that's something that Lamar, Josh Allen, and I'm praying Jaden Daniels does not mold into this has to be Superman, and always has to feel like he has to carry the team. Like Mahomes don't really have to do that anymore. He just makes enough plays when he needs to at the right times. His team doesn't commit penalties when you don't need to. So I just think they do just enough. And
you're referring to Mahomes this season, but quite frankly, the Mahomes we know is probably one of the, if not the clutchest player in the NFL. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Oh, come on. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
I thought you said in NFL history. My fault.
No. I'm talking about in the NFL right now amongst quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You can make the case that he's probably one of the clutchest quarterbacks, if not the clutchest, is what I'm saying, right? And so Patrick Mahomes, while he hasn't been playing lights out amazing this year, right? I'm going to bring this right into my game pick, right? I'll do it right here. This game is going to be close. We know this. Two great teams. But at the end of the day, I'm going to side with the team that has the better coach, the better quarterback. Because whatever I've been saying throughout this playoff race, I'm going to go with the team with the better quarterback. And I've been wrong sometimes. I've been wrong. But I said it last time with Jalen Hurts when I picked the Commanders to beat the Eagles, and I was wrong, right? I said, if not us, then it's going to be the next team where Jalen Hurts will be forced to make a play. He will be forced to make that play that he just won't make. And there's going to be a play where Patrick Mahomes is going to be forced to make that play. And guess what? He's going to make it. And guess what? Jalen Hurts is going to be forced to make that play. And guess what? He's not going to make it. My score prediction for this game, the Super Bowl 59, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game 33-27. Now, end of the game. Here's how I think the game's going to end. It's 33-27. Patrick Mahomes just led a drive to go score. The ball's in Jalen Hurts' hands. The Eagles have limited time. And guess what? Jalen Hurts is not going to drive them down the field to get it done. 33-27. That's my final score. Give me the Chiefs for the three-peat.
Hold on, Tyrus. If that absolutely happens, y'all better block me. Eagles fans, every single Eagles fan better block me on Twitter. Boy, I'm going to light a fire under Jalen Hurts. Don't let that happen. Please, God, please don't let that happen. Baby Jesus, please don't let that happen. I will light a fire. It will be World War III on Twitter. Do not let that happen. I've been right the whole time.
I do not agree with Mr. Tyrus Filton. I think this game will be won in the trenches. As we know, Eagles have the second best rushing offense in the league. They'll pound the ball. Jalen Hurts can run with the ball as well. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands. It's 4th and 1, 4th and goal. It's a touchdown. The Chiefs have not been better in the red zone than the Eagles this year. And that's a fact. They just blew the Commanders a 50. He gave them 50 ball, bro. They're coming into this game. Saquon had 3 touchdowns. You don't think he's not going to torch that Kansas City defensive line with just Chris Jones on it? He just had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. First of all, you just said just Chris Jones. Before y'all, I just want to make this quick point. My fault. First of all, the Kansas City Chiefs D-line, I'd be much more fearful of that D-line than Washington's because
you saw what happened last time in the Bucks. In the Bucks game when they played the Bucks in the Super Bowl, you saw how that offensive line got destroyed.
Hold on.
Talk about the Eagles defensive line as well.
You know how many years ago that was, pal? Like, what are we doing?
What are we
doing?
It hasn't changed. Their offensive line is not the best right
when
now.
Tom Brady was still playing? Are we serious? You're referring
that's
to
the last time they lost, and that's how they lost
the
game. That's the last time they lost. That's how they lost the game.
Listen, bro.
And they won 2 more Super Bowls after
before you give your sports takes on the Chiefs and Eagles, right? I'm somebody. Before I even got on this live, yesterday I rewatched the Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl from last time, right? Here's some things I noticed. These teams are very, very different. People keep bringing it up like they're the exact same teams. Bro, they made so many adjustments, and that's why they're back. Both of these teams are back because they made adjustments, right? The Chiefs D-line is, first of all, the Chiefs D-line and the Commanders D-line shouldn't even be in the same conversation because the Commanders D-line got a big-name players that don't deliver on their D-line. The Chiefs got Chris Jones, who is arguably – no, not arguably. He is the best defensive tackle in the game right now. And quite frankly, I'm going to say it here right now. Saquon Barkley is not going to have 150, 200 rushing yards. Cut that out your mouth right now. He's not. He's not going to have that, but he's still going to impact the game. You're acting like they're not facing one of the best offensive lines in football, and you're not acting like the Eagles' defensive line is not going to dominate the Chiefs' offensive line. You're not going to sit and tell me that with Jalen Carter and all those boys. They're beatable.
They're not?
No.
They are beatable. And if there's anybody that can overcome all of that, it's that man 1-5. Give me Patrick Mahomes for the win.
We're going to give it to you on Sunday night. Tyrus, that was the most beautiful thing you've said today. And you're right. Like, we got to look at what's happening right now. And thank you. I mean, I don't even need to say anything because you've said everything that needs to be said. I mean, the guys I saw for the Chiefs, they would start in any team right now. If they go, start. It's just that they've been that good.
No, bro.
I mean, well, I know I said a lot, but like before Julian goes, I just got this last thing. Johannes, what is your score prediction? Because I don't want to talk for you. What's your opinion?
All right, so it's gonna be 28 Chiefs and then 10 Eagles.
Wow. Wow.
Eagles fan better not let that happen. I swear you will not end up
That's the score.
10 points, bro. That's crazy.
10 points.
That's crazy.
Quarters.
You know that's crazy too.
We are having a follow-up show.
That is crazy.
Hey,
when was the last time Chiefs scored 20 points?
I'm just saying 55 sounded crazy, but it happened. So I think this can happen too.
No. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does happen, that'd be really crazy. But all I have to say is this, man. At some point, you guys are going to have to understand that it doesn't matter how great Saquon Barkley is. Give me the quarterback position as the most valuable position in the game of football. And quite frankly, like I said, who has the better coach? Kansas City. Who has the better quarterback? Kansas City. Everything else outside of that means a whole lot less. And you have to understand that, bro. You have to understand that.
But you're not really
valuable than Patrick Mahomes.
You're not looking at the game. You're not talking about that Eagles defense either. Not just the defensive line, bro.
Let's talk about the 49ers.
On the defensive player of the year candidates. You have, bro, come on. You're not gonna tell me Patrick Mahomes is gonna have another miracle Patrick Mahomes day on a top 10 defense in the NFL. Like, come on, let's be realistic.
Was it not a top 10 defense?
Who's the wide receivers Patrick Mahomes throwing to? A washed-up Kelsey and DeAndre Hopkins?
Oh,
no! Last Super Bowl. This is why you gotta go do your research, bro.
I do my research.
Listen, bro.
I do my research.
Last Super Bowl, who was he throwing to? Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney. Look, what are you saying,
bro? Look at the secondary he's facing. Look at the secondary he's facing this time.
Okay, look at the
along with that's a full defense, linebacker all the way to defensive line, all the way to safety. They're loaded. They're loaded, bro.
In the NFL. Yes, they are. Yeah.
One of the best defenses. Yes, they're loaded.
No, they are the best. You're right. You're right.
They're the best.
The Eagles have the best defense in the NFL, right? And guess what? Guess who had the best defense last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl? The 49ers did. And guess what? They got defeated too. So here's what's going to happen, man. That number one defense, that's a title. That's just a ranking, bro. On the field, you still got to show up. And the Eagles got a lot of young guys, right, that are inexperienced. I'm telling you, man, the Chiefs are going to find a way yet again. And
so you trust Hollywood Brown and DeAndre Hopkins to show up in a Super Bowl?
I'm taking D-Hop to show up more than I'm taking what? You expect D-Hop not to show up?
D-Hop? What? D-Hop? Are you really
he go hop
on D-Hop right now?
End zone.
Gotta
He's
say
gonna
that.
hop his way
Again.
to the end zone.
Again, you're limiting the impact of coaching and quarterback. You're talking about D-Hop.
I
Like D-Hop
understand.
has been the greatest wide
Understand
receiver
this.
ever. Like it's not his job to win the game. He's gonna do what he has to do, but he's not the X factor. No, I'm not saying that.
But my problem is that I'm gonna let everybody else talk. I'm sorry. You're picking the Chiefs to win this game purely on quarterback and coaching. You're not talking about defensive line versus offensive. I told you the game is gonna be one in the trenches. You have not mentioned that yet. Every time I say that, you just keep mentioning Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
We're talking about the secondary, the matchups. Let's talk about the defensive line and how that line, the battle in the trenches, is gonna be dominated by Philly.
We can talk about that, right? You're assuming that on paper, just because
Not
it's
on paper.
and
This is not on paper. This is not on paper. This is pure fact. The
again,
Eagles have better both lines.
the Chiefs O-line may not be better than the Eagles defensive line, but the Chiefs O-line can ball out, bro. And we've seen the Chiefs O-line be consistent. Like you're sitting up here, basically what you're doing is you're saying basically because the Eagles roster is better than everybody else, they should beat everybody. But that's not the case, bro. They are a beatable team. We've seen them with the best O-line, the best D-line, and they've lost games, bro. And if there's anybody that can beat them, it's Kansas City.
We'll let somebody else go. We'll get back.
I've raised my hand for too long. I kind of do agree with Jaden. I've said it the last several weeks I've been here. The Eagles have the best roster from 1 through 53
I agree.
in the NFL. They got the best GM in the NFL. They got probably the best organization in the NFL before I go in on that organization and their players. The trenches do matter. But I can't not, when making this pick, I can't not think about the Kansas City defense. I think that defense is the goods. They ranked top 3, right? If I'm not mistaken, top 3.
Top 10.
Elite defense,
Top
man.
10.
Elite.
I think they have the X factor on defense. I think Chris Jones is going to be the one that's going to have to dominate. If he dominates, I think it slows down a Saquon. I think this is a really, really low scoring game. I'm banking on the Chiefs defense to be elite and ball out of their mind. Again, I think on offense, Mahomes, Andy Reid, they're gonna make enough plays. Even if it's just gadget plays and it breaks loose. But yeah, I think the two big boys, two fat boys as I refer to them, Chris Jones and Carter are gonna be like the difference makers of the game. I love the way we always talk about when we talk about the Eagles, we talk about everybody but that quarterback. But I'm a hater though. I continuously call me a hater, but every time we bring up the Eagles, it's never Jalen Hurts has to make a play. It's everybody else. But yeah.
Thank you, bro.
I think I got the score predictions 24-21. Kansas City. In my wildest dreams and fantasies, Jalen Hurts will have to forcibly make a play, but I don't believe so. I think the ball is going to go to Patrick Mahomes, and they're just going to find a way to win. But yeah, go Chiefs. I'm part of the Queendom this on Sunday. I'm hate watching.
Hey, man, I respect you for giving your take in that manner because I do honestly, we all talk, we have fun with our conversations. We may argue a little bit, but I really do. I don't have a problem with Jalen Hurts. I think he's a solid QB. But at the end of the day, I think this season a lot of people have let biases kind of cloud their judgment in the sense of like understanding the value of the quarterback position, right? Now, the quarterback position, it doesn't do everything, right? But I just feel like in a close game, like even with the NFC Championship, I said if it's a close game, Jaden Daniels will make the plays. It wasn't a close game. But if it was, would he have made those plays? I'm confident he would have, right? So in this particular sense, I think the Super Bowl is going to be close, and I think the quarterback that's better is going to make the right plays, and you're just going to watch what happens. Everybody who's watching going to see exactly what I'm saying. when this game is close on Sunday, which it will be, there's going to be a time in which both quarterbacks are called upon. Like Mr. Ron was saying, those key plays in the game. I remember previous live, you were saying that those key plays that quarterback has to make. I think you said 5 or 4. 5, yeah. 5 key plays in the game where quarterback has to step up. I'm taking 15 every time. What are we talking about? I'm taking 15. Tell me you're taking Hurts over 15, Jaden. Tell me you're taking Hurts over 15.
I'm not saying that, but that same 15 is having one of the worst playoff performances of his career. This is a career low in passing
It's the
yards.
Super Bowl, bro. It's the Super Bowl.
But you said the value of the quarterback position, but you got to value his team as well and his coaching. Because if Patrick Mahomes is not the reason purely why the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl right now, if
No,
anything,
I'm
that
not saying
defense
that.
has been amazing.
Mahomes, same. You can make the same case with Hurts too, right? Mahomes and Hurts, one thing they have in common in this game is that most times they're not the reason that their team is going to be losing or suffering, right? I don't expect Hurts to make a bunch of mistakes. I don't expect Patrick Mahomes to make a bunch of mistakes. But if you look at it like this, right? If you're trying to just make it he didn't make mistakes. He's not the reason we lost. He didn't make mistakes. Patrick Mahomes, while he hasn't been this in a while, Patrick Mahomes has been in games where he's the reason his team won. And Jalen Hurts, we haven't seen Jalen Hurts be the reason his team won in a long, long time. Like
That's because he has a Saquon. Like he can literally hand it off to the best running
Thank
back.
you, Jaden.
Lamar
Thank you.
Jackson has a Derrick Henry,
Thank you.
and he's been the reason the Ravens have won certain games. So we're not going to do that, bro. We're not.
But Jalen Hurts, we don't want to talk about him and his dual threat ability because we like to discredit it because it's the tush push. But Jalen Hurts is a complete quarterback, bro.
I rock with the
you
no,
can't
the
discredit
tush
him.
The tush push, I don't even discredit that. I know a lot of people dislike it. I hate seeing them do that to my team. I hated it, but no, the tush push is I give credit to Jalen Hurts' strength because like that leg strength.
What are we really talking about this play? Like it's a game changer?
He's probably the strongest quarterback.
Jalen Hurts, he's a game manager.
Like this is
He's
gonna be
just a
like the
game
one that
manager.
wins the game.
Hurts is a
You have
game
to give credit, bro.
Yes.
Oh no.
Anybody could do what
Let him
he's
talk.
doing
Let him
right
talk.
now.
Let him say his point. Go ahead.
Jalen Hurts, he's just a game manager. Like anybody could do what he's doing right now. Like he's not doing nothing special. Like only Eagles fans thinks he like the next Tom Brady or something. Literally, Jalen Hurts. Anybody. So all right. So what I'm gonna say is Jalen Hurts against the in the NFC Championship game. Eagles would have lost that game if I was Saquon Barkley. I'm just gonna be 100%. I remember the first, drive. I was like feeling good about Washington, 7-minute drive. I'm like, okay, what happened in the first play? Saquon Barkley 60-yard touchdown. So I'm like, dang, we gotta stop Saquon Barkley. The game plan never really on Jalen Hurts. So without Saquon Barkley, the Eagles not really,
everything Jalen Hurts does is like icing on the cake, bro. Like everything he does is icing on the cake. Saquon already got the cake.
Play with a generational running back. That's what happens when you play with a generational running back. Like y'all not remember the Barry Sanders, the Eric Falconers. Like you not remembering these guys. These guys are the
Barry
same
Sanders
thing for their
didn't
team.
make it past the divisionals. Did he make it past? Did he make it to the conference championship game?
He didn't get a lot of playoff
success,
but he still carried that team.
All due respect to Barry Sanders, because that's
the greatest running back of all time. Don't disrespect Barry Sanders.
His
greatest running back of all time.
No, I'm not disrespecting him. It's a broader
greatest
point
of all time. Absolutely, he's the greatest of all time.
Absolutely, I like you, Jaden.
Football player because in college too.
That number one.
You say he's the greatest running back of all time?
Yeah, Barry Sanders.
Easily.
That's very debatable, but I'm not trying to discredit him.
No debate to that.
The point I'm trying to make is this, right?
Great World of Dallas.
Barry Sanders' impact is not greater than the quarterback position. Like same with Saquon. Same with Saquon, bro. Saquon Barkley's impact to his team. I'd love to hear somebody say it's more valuable than Patrick Mahomes' impact is. I'd love to hear that because Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs dynasty. He is the Chiefs dynasty. Patrick Mahomes, while he struggled this year, right? And I already know Julian's going to pull out the Saquon, you know what I'm saying? He's already start glazing, man. Here we go.
It's not really so much glazing, but like may hate this hot take, but as I said before, I don't think the Eagles are in this position without Saquon. To me, they kind of like a super team. I'm never gonna lie.
I disagree.
I'm saying this unbiasedly as I possibly can. That's why I make the soliloquy with the Eagles' best roster from 1 to 53, so everybody don't think I'm a hater all the time. But like, I don't think they're in this position that they are. To me, they look like almost a super team. And to think that they almost can trade for Myles Garrett, I hope that hell they don't trade for him. But yeah, I don't see them being in this position. I mean, you look at what they did last year; they got bounced by the Bucks in Tampa.
Without their best offensive player, they didn't have their. First of all, let me say something, man.
Their best offensive player that's not doing anything in the playoffs. This man is reading the book because his quarterback can't get in the ball.
Again,
okay, I gotta speak up. So Tyrus, you said you looked at the video of the Eagles when they played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. What was Jalen Hurts' stats?
Jalen Hurts was going off. He had like over 300. He had like over 300 plus yards, right?
All in out.
And guess what? Hold on,
time out. That was what do you call that? B before Barkley? BB before Barkley?
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you.
Mr. Ron, we're gonna have to connect after this.
Yards. He ran for 15. He had 15 carries for 70 yards. This was without Barkley. He was bumming around in the Giants. You got to put some respect on this cat's name, guys.
I do.
Look at his numbers. He didn't have Barkley. What did Devontae Smith have? What did AJ have? Look at that game. The Eagles was throwing the football all over the place. Ironically, in that game, Kansas City outrushed them. I think they had 100 and something yards or whatever more rushing yards than the Eagles did in that game, ironically. So you're talking about you bringing everybody back to a fight. So that's like back in the day when I got beat up by the bullies on 40th Street, right? Beat up, and I was 12, and I got to be able to grow up a little bit and put on a little more muscle. And if y'all listen out there, y'all know I'm telling it like it is. But anyway, you put on a little more muscle and you come back 3 years later with your boys, and you get a chance to do it all over again with that same group. And now I got more reinforcements. You telling me I'm going to lose that game? You know how many sleepless nights Jalen Hurts had thinking about that almost? You know how many nights he thought about if I get another shot at this team? I knew I should have beat this team. I had him on the ropes. It was like I don't want to go way before your time, but it was like the Ali Frazier fight, when, they fought again and then Frazier got him. Ali got him. He got him that second time. You're thinking about everything you could have done differently. And now you have an opportunity, not 10 years from now, but to play a team that's relatively similar. They got a couple of more pieces and you put a couple more pieces, but the foundation of that team is still there. And then you have a guy like Jalen Hurts who's gone through the adversity. Let's talk about the adversity. This is a guy who was in a championship game and got freaking at halftime was benched for a quarterback. We all know the story. Sent him on his way. He got benched. He had to leave. Had to go to another school. His draft stock fell like crazy. And then now, I know I'm playing the violin. I get it. But now this guy goes to a team, like the Eagles, who didn't really want him. They just kind of picked him up for whatever. And then he exceeded their expectations. They didn't have him as no frank superstar quarterback when they drafted him. Look, the Giants picked Daniel Jones number 6, meaning that they thought this guy was going to be the guy. As a matter of fact, I found out that the Commanders wanted Daniel Jones. Don't think I don't know that.
Oh, we know. Oh, yeah. They grew one of them.
Yeah.
Like we did.
Tyrus, I'm looking straight at you, bro.
Dan Snyder wanted Daniel Jones.
No, it was not Daniel Snyder. We're not gonna put that on Daniel. We're gonna put that on Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden wanted them. It was the statement that Jay
Gruden wanted them.
Those
guys are gone. I'm glad they're gone. They're gone.
Back whisperer, right? He's out there looking at all the videos and all that. So listen, guys, I'm just making it clear. Don't think it's that far removed. This is the Eagles team, and I agree with what you're saying. it's going to be one in the trenches. Make no mistake. It's hard for me to go against Patrick Mahomes. I get it. I've seen it. I see what he's capable of. I hate to bet against Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a phenomenal coach. I've seen him change his stripes from when he was with the Eagles. I mean, he would never run the ball on third down. He would always have McNabb doing all these ridiculous things. This is why Terrell Owens and McNabb were fighting and arguing with each other in the Super Bowl because of the play calling of Andy Reid. And now he goes to Kansas City and he puts the S on his chest and he's doing all these great things. So make no mistake, it's hard to bet against Andy. It's hard to bet against Pat, even Travis, even though he's lost lost in love or whatever he is, he's still dangerous, right? I get it. And it's hard, Chris Jones, I mean, this guy is a phenom on that line. And I get it. And these guys play for Patrick Mahomes. They level up for this cat, right? They go above and beyond for him. I get it because they believe in the quarterback, number 15, as you consistently said. However, the adversity of what Hurts and that team had to go through, and now you give them another chance to go back again against this group. Now they get to bring big bad Saquon with them this time. Saquon, who was thirsty in a dungeon in New York with no food, no water, fans burning his jersey outside the Giants Stadium. And now he gets a chance to do something that's unthinkable on his birthday, by the way, which is Sunday.
Oh,
that's the script.
Forget.
Oh, that's the script.
Birthday.
Oh,
He
they
can
done
win
already
a
broke
Super
the script.
Bowl.
Speaking right now, hey, Phantom, bro, he's spitting
They already
right
got the
now.
script. That's crazy.
Smoking, baby.
Spitting right now. He's on fire, bro.
On with the Eagles, 35-30. I think they return fire. They return the favor to them. I go with the Eagles 35. I got to stick to my
Yes,
guns.
sir.
I had to keep winning.
Wow.
Day one. I hated to say that. I hate that organization. I hate that team. But I got to give it to them. They got the
Quick
best
question.
team.
Quick question.
Hey, I respect it.
I
Wow,
know I've
that
asked this before, and I know I'm probably the Jalen Hurts hater. Oh well. And I'm gonna ask the Jalen Hurts question. If he wins, where do you think this puts him? And this has been my
Not a damn
biggest,
play.
huh?
Not a single place. Not anywhere all the time.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted. Because that's my the idea is that I'm seeing people
No,
think
Tom,
he's
but
better
is he,
than-
he's top 10, right? If he wins
He's,
it.
in the league, he's top 5. I'm sorry, Jaden.
He's top
Jalen Hurts is
5.
not a top 5 quarterback.
Hell no.
If he wins the bowl this year, I mean, the disrespect.
He won't
not
be the
getting
reason
top
they win,
5.
bro. He won't be the
After
reason
he
they
put
I
win.
three
don't
either.
even care.
touchdowns
I
on
don't
your
even care
head.
if you put. I
After
don't
he
even
put
care if
3
you take
touchdowns on
Jaden
your
off it.
head.
He ain't better than Matthew Stafford. I'm gonna tell you that. Top 5, been top 5.
This.
We gonna been top 5.
Wow.
It's Matthew
And now,
Stafford,
if he
bro.
wins it, and he
beat
wins
Stafford,
MVP,
dog.
I give it to him. But
He went through Stafford to get to this
His
position.
team
We
beat
shouldn't be
Stafford.
having that
His
conversation.
team beat Stafford.
Stafford
And
is
Jay-
still top
and
5.
Jaden.
He's a top
Okay,
5
and Mahomes'
quarterback.
teams
Jaden,
beat
Very
CJ.
quarterback.
Jaden, take into account this, right? And Mr. Ron as well. Your point was amazing. That was definitely clip worthy. You was laying it down. I respect that opinion. With the Eagles, you taking the Eagles, I respect it. And I know your guy Saquon getting in the ring, that would be really a big moment for him too. And but the whole point with Jalen Hurts, I'm not even trying to disrespect him. Like Julian goes harder on Jalen Hurts than I do. I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater. I really think he's a solid quarterback, but top 5, no. Top 10, yes. But the point of that you made, Mr. Ron, with Jalen Hurts in the last Super Bowl, he balled out. And actually, last Super Bowl, I was rooting for the Eagles, right? Last Super Bowl. I've since then I've come to mature a little bit. And here's my point. I think that Jalen Hurts, what I saw from him last Super Bowl was spectacular. And I haven't seen that Jalen Hurts since. I haven't seen Jalen Hurts. That Jalen Hurts last Super Bowl, that guy is missing right now.
You haven't seen Jalen Hurts ball out like that since Super Bowl times.
300 plus yards against probably the greatest team in the last few years? No, I haven't seen that Jalen Hurts. Like, what are we talking about? Jalen Hurts is a solid quarterback, but let's not act like you saying he's top 5, all this stuff. He's not the reason his team is winning games, bro. And he's not the reason that his team is like this superpower. Like the Eagles, they have built so much talent around him, which is good. That's what the GM should do. But we can't act like Jalen Hurts is just like he could go in the Super Bowl, right? Drop 150, 2 touchdowns. They probably still win just like that. I'm telling you, when Mahomes gets in that game, he can't drop 150 and 2 touchdowns and think that's enough. Mahomes is going to have more than that. Mahomes will outplay Jalen Hurts.
Can I just say
So, well, go ahead, bro.
quickly, because I'm gonna have to go after this, but Ron, that was the most convincing argument I've heard for Eagles to win that I almost changed my prediction. So, thank y'all for having me. Chiefs are hopefully gonna win. You know,
Can
I've
you
been
get
talking
a couple more points before you
a
go?
little bit here and there. Or what'd you say?
Can we get a couple more points, or you gonna keep us at 10? You said I was convincing,
Oh.
no?
Yeah, no. You've definitely earned at least 5 points right there. So 15 to 27. That Todd got you 5 points. I appreciate it so much.
You gotta get this guy back on the show, man.
No, I love the talk. It was great talking to everybody. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, man, appreciate you coming on, bro. Talk to you next time, man. Be
Good luck
easy.
out there, brother. 5 points. Woo.
Uh-oh.
Oh, somebody else
We
joined.
got my
right
man
after.
Zaire.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hello,
Yeah, my man's
everyone.
We got
Hello,
the-
everyone. Number one, we will not be talking about what happened yesterday because there's nothing to say.
Yeah, we're past that.
Yes, we're past that, but we are talking about the Super Bowl. So, I've been thinking all week long. This will definitely be an interesting Super Bowl. I feel like it can go either way, really. If Jalen Hurts and the Eagles play like they did in their first Super Bowl and continue pushing forward and don't let key stops and letting the Chiefs get all the way down the field at the last second, kicking for 3. I believe that's what happened in their Super Bowl. I believe so. Then, because I remember the Eagles were up, but if the Eagles can keep their foot on the gas and then also still run the ball too, I think they have a chance too as well. But then again, we can't count out the Chiefs when it comes to Super Bowl, and then their defense is. I mean, the offense is good, but their defense is definitely carrying them. So it'll be up to see if they'll be able to stop, especially Saquon from running the ball. So I'm not sure we gave takes yet on what the score is. So, or did we do that?
Yeah, some of us already gave our score predictions. What's yours, bro?
I've come with this. I'm not sure who's going to win, but I come with 35-31. I can see it potentially being a high scoring game.
And you got the Eagles or Chiefs? Who you got?
It'll probably be the Eagles.
Okay.
It'll be the Eagles.
I got 35-30. You got 35-31. That's right, Zaire. Yeah.
And what was yours again, Jaden?
Oh, I didn't give a prediction. I'm gonna take 17 or 14 Eagles.
Wow, low scoring game, man. Wow.
Going back to the early 2000s.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be, I believe, run from the Eagles. I think they're on the ball. I think it's gonna be
I ain't never heard
couple
that
possessions.
That's the only way they win, bro. Running the ball. They're not going to win any other way. So that's all they really can do. Where the Chiefs can
As a
run the
hater,
ball,
bro.
they can pass the ball, they can do just about everything. So, yeah, that's the story of the game for real. The Eagles, they're just going to run the ball. Saquon is going to do what he do. I just don't see. I can't deny the fact that Saquon's going to do what he do. I mean, nobody can argue that, but I don't think anybody's going to stop him or limit him. But as best you can limit him, I would say below 150. Below 150. That's all I can say as far as limiting.
If he has a 149, the Eagles win.
Time out. Can I ask a simple question? Does anyone else beside me think that the Eagles wide receivers are on the elite level?
Oh, I've said it, Mr. Ron. You know, 2 number ones.
You're the only one. You're the only one that says it. Does
I just
anyone
don't believe
else
that-
think that their wide receivers are elite wide receivers?
He got everything done.
Apparently, Tyrus thinks Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball, so
Oh, so it don't matter.
They're
Won't get
good.
to
it
the
doesn't
in
matter,
playoffs,
bro.
they've been
He's not the
really
best
good.
quarterback in the
Bro,
game.
Jalen Hurts still has to prove that in his recent form, right? So we're referring to his last Super Bowl run where he played amazing. He balled out, right? He was throwing everywhere, right? That I'm telling you, that Jalen Hurts, we have not seen him ever since that shoulder injury too. People act like he didn't have a shoulder injury last season as well. Bro, he has not been throwing the same. If you really think that Jalen Hurts is going to come in here with his elite receivers and just throw for 300 like he did last Super Bowl, I'm telling you, you're going to be surprised when you see on Sunday.
When you have an elite wide receiver, do you have to throw a perfect pass? Can you not go ball a little higher than it should be or a little lower because your receiver is – I've seen your receiver, but I can't use you because Jaden Daniels has excellent ball placement. But forget him. But I've seen other quarterbacks put balls in the atmosphere, and I've seen receivers go up there and make plays because they're just that great. A.J. Brown, I mean, come on. Jalen Hurts doesn't have to throw a perfect pass. This is what you're not getting. He can be under pressure and just get it in the vicinity, and A.J. one-on-one is getting that ball. I don't
a play action with Saquon.
You know, so I can't – we're looking for Jalen to have to play like Patrick doesn't necessarily have the amount of elite receivers. Obviously, Travis – and I like what Xavier's been doing, but the reality of it is that you got two capable receivers, and they're not average receivers. These guys are above average receivers. So that's my argument. I don't think Jalen Hurts has to throw perfect passes to beat this team. He has to throw solid, good passes, but they don't have to be perfect balls. So, again, that allows him to come down a little bit. Again, like you said, game management, yes, I concur with that. But when you can hand the ball off to number 26, who makes up a multitude of your sins, you don't have to throw perfect passes, and you got a hungry freaking defense and an offensive line that's ready to rumble at any time, WWE style. Come on, let's be realistic. You're right. The coach now has to figure out, am I going to screw this game up? Am I going to take it away?
Nick Sirianni a bad coach?
Nope.
Do we consider?
Nope.
He's not better than the guy on the other side. That's for sure.
But it's Nick Sirianni
You're
now.
talking about the greatest head coach in the NFL comparing him to Nick
I'm just asking if Nick Sirianni is an elite coach conversation. I'm just asking y'all opinions.
I mean, if he's an elite coach, then Dan Quinn's an elite coach because he made it to the Super Bowl and he didn't come away with anything. So what are we talking about? He made it to the Super Bowl twice.
I'm asking. I don't necessarily think.
Switch Nick Sirianni with Dan Quinn with the same roster. Tell me they're not in the Super Bowl.
See, why do you have to always bring up the Commanders?
No, it doesn't. It's not even about the Commanders. Nick Sirianni is not a superstar coach, bro.
I have to kind of rebuke your point. I think almost. I ain't gonna like this one. I don't think. Yes, coaching matters. But with that roster, I don't think you need the most elite coach in the NFL to take that team to us.
Thank you.
I do think Nick Sirianni is a good coach. I hate when Eagles fans come in. I think he's a good coach. I'm not saying he's elite. He is a good coach. He's right. Elite is here. He's here. But
see, I don't think Nick Sirianni is a good coach because I think he makes bad decisions in big moments. But to your point, that does make sense. They don't need an elite coach, but they do have elite coordinators.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. I feel like Vic Fangio should have won. I don't think did he? I didn't see that. Assistant Coach of the Year winner. I picked
He's nominated.
It was Ben Campbell.
He's nominated for
Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson.
Oh,
Ben Johnson won it?
Not a head coach.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it should have been Vic Fangio, but yeah. Nick Sirianni's a good coach. I can't argue that. I mean, he's a good coach. People dislike him, but yeah, he is a really good coach. And I'm just saying that you match any coach in the league against Andy Reid, and you're just not favored. Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL. Andy Reid, I feel like he's going to have those guys prepared. And also, when you look at Andy Reid's record, when he has a week to prepare, like a week off to prepare, I think he's 30-3. He has a whole week to prepare. I mean, they both have a whole week, but I'm saying like Andy Reid is Andy Reid, bro.
I don't like Sirianni. I do agree with that. that was probably the best point you made, bringing up coaching, because Andy Reid, and you guys didn't even mention Steve Spagnuolo. My
Legend.
goodness, he
Yeah,
is
great.
insane.
And that's
But
what I'm
it's
saying
just
too. True.
it's so much the Eagles have to work
Defense
with.
gonna show up, bro.
But like this, as much as Spagnuolo can scheme, like that raw talent on the court, my fault, on the field, that offensive line, Saquon running behind, it's just not like coaching can't just be just brute strength
Let
coming
me
at
ask
you,
you
bro.
this, bro. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before I pass the baton, because I know I'll be talking a lot.
Your show.
Let's say the Chiefs lose this game, hypothetically, right? What exactly is going to change next year? They're probably going to have the same O-line, same running back. I mean, let's be real, bro. Going into this game, it's literally win or die. I'm literally honestly saying if the Eagles don't win this, if they don't win Sunday, they're just not going to win a Super Bowl. They're just not going to. It's do or die.
This is their window. Yeah, this is their window. I do agree with that. This is their window. It's the last time they'll be in this position.
5 is coming.
I disagree. I have to disagree with that. I have to disagree with the you have such a young team and talented team. I hate that, like, if they don't win, I hate that. They have the best offensive line, the best defensive line, the best running back, 2 number 1 wide receivers. God damn, they got stuff.
They can't pay all those boys though.
Huh? They cannot pay them, bro.
They can't.
I can't wait. I can't wait to the day I realize they can't pay them, because some of them gonna be on the Commanders. But because we're gonna have that money before Jaden get paid.
Yeah, I have the second most cap in the NFL, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think the window is just closed just because they don't win, and they should blow it up.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and blow it up if you want to. Shoot, some of them gonna be
blowing up. No,
but like
I'm not blowing up, but
that long the offensive line and defensive line is there, I think that window is as long as they need to be. So like,
the reason why I say that, because I think if Eagles lose this, it might be a hot take, but I think you have to think about maybe moving on from Sirianni and promoting Fangio, because I don't think Sirianni is the best coach. I don't think he has that Philadelphia culture. I just don't. I don't think he has that heart.
I disagree completely.
I think it's the coordinators. I think it's the coordinators for real, because like Philadelphia's supposed to be that city's hard nosed. Like you're supposed to be what Detroit is. You know what I mean?
I feel like he fits. Hold on. I feel like Nick Sirianni. This whole podcast we've been talking, right? And we've disagreed. We've agreed. I have not disagreed more with you until you made that point just now. Nick Sirianni is a good football coach, and I feel like he fits the culture of Philly. I really do. He's a cocky coach. He's a cocky coach who loves to show off and loves to be himself. That's Philly.
Is he that cocky anymore?
I don't think
he's been pretty passive to me these recent years.
He fits
after he got all that criticism.
He fits the culture. I'm confident he fits the culture.
They're kind of weird up there.
I think the coordinator. I think you have one of the 2 best coordinating combos in the league right now. Like
for sure,
your coordinators are leaving. The Eagles, the coordinators are leaving no matter what after this. Fangio leaves, Johnson leaves, just like Detroit's left.
There's no guarantee that Fangio leaves, because there's only one head coaching job left, and that's a trashy situation with the New Orleans Saints, bro. Fangio probably comes back.
Kellen Moore leaving though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kellen Moore. He can go to the Saints and probably go 3-14. Good for him, bro. At the end of the day, the Eagles will be just fine without Kellen Moore. Let's get that understood. Like his job is he's doing a great job. Kellen Moore's doing a great job, but they don't need Kellen Moore. Just like they didn't need Brian Johnson. Listen. There's certain teams that the roster is just so good that Vic Fangio, his presence is felt, because the Eagles defense last year was actually really bad, right? They had a good roster on paper, right? But there was times last year where like the Eagles defense was really bad, and Sam Howell even carved them up a lot of times. There's no reason Sam Howell should be throwing for 300 plus yards against the Eagles defense. Vic Fangio comes in, and he has now they're the number 1 defense in the league, not just because of roster moves, but Vic Fangio is a great coach, right? So I'll give more respect to Vic Fangio than I will Kellen Moore, because that offense is Saquon Barkley.
I mean, but he's scheming Saquon Barkley. We've seen the same Saquon Barkley on the Giants, and it hasn't been the same.
It's a different O line,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a
It's a
totally
whole different O
different
line.
O-line.
First of all, we
But the
always say,
O, but you can't just put.
Wonderful, bro.
That's a scheming. Oh, like he be calling plays. Like I be watching him. He be calling all types of plays for
You talking about the
Saquon. They
tossers?
be get.
If Saquon doesn't get touched within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, is that coaching or is that the offensive line? Because
But the coaching is
the greatest thing ever, and if the offensive line don't execute, it don't matter. It's Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. So like,
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's both. I don't think you have all the
but he
success
has
you've
the
had with
best offensive
Saquon.
line. Like I can't sit there and dispute like he didn't do this in New York. Yeah, he had a horrible offensive line, but no outside
Facts.
receiver help. I remember seeing him carve up the Redskins when we were the Redskins. Like he has the best offensive line in football. Like
And not
the
just
best
that.
left tackle and right tackle duo. Like you're not
Exactly.
getting touched 5 yards down the field is ridiculous. Like that is
But the play calling,
I'm not gonna
is
give it
there
to play
though.
The
calling.
play calling, bro. All right, bro.
I can't
The
give it to
play calling.
If you have-
What is
just
Kellen
saying.
Moore? What is Kellen Moore doing that is just so special, bro? Like
He's
all due
ways to
respect,
get the ball in Saquon's hand in multiple different ways.
all
Screens.
due respect. Julian made this point earlier with Saquon, and I feel like it's honestly disrespectful that the Eagles O-line doesn't get enough respect. I know they get respect; they deserve more respect because, quite frankly, the point that Julian made earlier with Saquon, the Eagles wouldn't be in the NFC Championship; they wouldn't be in the Super Bowl without Saquon. Switch Josh Jacobs with Saquon. Tell me they're not in the Super Bowl. That O-line
they're
is the
not.
best in football. Yes, they are. Saquon Barkley, as valuable as he is, as great as he is, take any other elite running back, Derrick Henry, put him on the Eagles. Tell me they're not in the Super Bowl.
DeAndre Swift, people were calling him elite when he was with Philly.
I said this last live, and I'll say it again. Saquon Barkley needed the Philadelphia Eagles more than they needed him. Saquon Barkley needed the Philadelphia Eagles more than they needed him. They've been to the Super Bowl without him. With the average running back, DeAndre Swift was slightly above average. He was a good running back, but he wasn't Saquon.
Okay, let's do this before I close. I got to jump on another call. You have two things that could be true. All right, and my guy can attest to this. How many times did we see Saquon Barkley get tackled when he should have been 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage for the Giants, and he gets to the line of scrimmage? He's in the backfield doing the Barry Sanders lookalike contest, and he gets 2 yards or 3 yards when he should have been lost 20 yards. So you have two dynamics: a great running back coming to a great offensive line. That's why he almost ran for 2,000 yards. And I'll be honest, he probably should have broke Eric Dickerson's record. Sirianni held him from that, but that's another story for another day. But the point I'm making is some arguments, two things can be correct. So I think because of Saquon Barkley's dynamic capability of making something out of nothing, you're going to need that in the game against the Chiefs, because now you'll have a situation where you'll see plays that you'll say, damn, only Saquon could have pulled that off. Just like we've seen plays where we said only Patrick could have did it, or only Travis could have done that. So it's always those moments. I know I talked about the 5-time throws, but there's always those moments in games where you go, I just got to tip my hat. You know what I mean? This guy is just, I did everything right. I was on him. I covered him. I was right there, and he still made the catch. Or I had him wrapped up, and he still broke the tackle. So I think those are the types of things that we'll see on Sunday. That's why I'm super excited about this particular Super Bowl. And I think that we'll all come back together and convene, Tyrus, and we'll kind of talk through a lot of this. But I'm going to say that I tip my hat to that line of the Eagles. And I think Saquon Barkley, like I said, with his birthday, with all the pressure that's on his back, because really, who has the most to gain? The Eagles, because of everything that they've gone through. You think Jalen Hurts doesn't know we're sitting on a podcast right now talking about he's not an elite quarterback, he's not top this, he's not that? You think he doesn't know what we're saying? Are you kidding me? He knows. He knows. And so now he's like, here we go. Pull out the popcorn. And so, yeah, I agree. I think, you can't take nothing away from number 15. Whether he loses this game or not, no one's going to say, oh, he's not a great quarterback. I think both of those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers, regardless of what happens tonight or tomorrow. So I think the people that have more to prove are in that green and white uniform over there in the Philadelphia lineup. So kudos to you guys. The show was phenomenal. As always, 4th and Goal show. Y'all get with it. We here. We here. We here. Peace, guys.
Talk to you, Mr. Ron. Thank you for joining.
Man, great meeting you cats, man. See y'all again.
See you next time. But yeah, guys, yeah, you know, I'm just continuing the conversation. If y'all got to go, that's cool. But yeah, it's going to be a good Super Bowl, man. It's aside from the arguments, aside from the, you know, arguing my point, you guys arguing your point, it's going to be a good Super Bowl. And like I said, I actually enjoy watching both quarterbacks. I don't dislike Jalen Hurts. I just feel like recently, he just hasn't been able to, you know, be the quarterback that we've seen in the Super Bowl, unfortunately. But then again, when you got a running back like Saquon, you know, the argument has been from Eagles fans that he really doesn't have to do that. It's like, why would you do that if you can't stop Saquon? Which is a good point. But like I said previously, at some point, that's going to stop. At some point, I really do feel like Jalen Hurts will be forced to step up. And why not now? This is the Super Bowl. I think they're going to force him. You talked about Steve Spagnuolo, Jaden. You talked about Steve Spagnuolo and the great defensive coordinator he is. He's been around the league for so long. Has the most rings out of any coordinator in NFL history. I believe. I think that's right. I think I posted that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If there's any coordinator in the NFL that's prepared to go up against this Eagles offense, it's Steve Spagnuolo. I just think that he's going to do everything he can to try to limit Saquon as best as he can. I know that sounds crazy. Limit Saquon. He's going to do his best. He's going to do his best, and they're going to put their best foot forward. I believe in the Chiefs' defense. They have an elite defense. Everybody's talking about what the Eagles have as if the Chiefs are just terrible because their roster doesn't have the big names that the Eagles does. They have playmakers, man. They have Chris Jones. They have Trent McDuffie. They have Joshua Williams. They have guys that make plays. And, hey, just like last Super Bowl, right? You can make the case that Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes last Super Bowl. The Chiefs still found a way. You can make a case that Saquon Barkley could be the best player on the field Sunday. Guess what? The Chiefs going to find a way. That's just what they do, man. That's just what they do. And I'd be foolish to sit up here and bet against KC, bet against Mahomes, bet against Travis Kelce, bet against Andy Reid. I just feel like this is their moment. It's something about this moment. I feel like it's their moment. I don't feel like the Eagles are ready to take over that throne that the Chiefs kind of have put themselves in. And I think we're going to see.
Yeah, disagree with Tyrus. We all know about disagree. Saquon go come get one as a Saquon fan, as a former Giants fan. Saquon get his first man like birthday. Be celebrating.
See, that's where it is for you, man. You and your feelings, dog.
Yeah, my feelings. I just think, like I said, I see it all stream. Like the battle, the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball is gonna be real deal, bro. Like real deal. Teams have both playmakers on both sides of the ball, so I think that's first gonna be one.
I can already hear the excuses now, though, because all this week, all I hear is the excuses. The Eagles are sick. Oh my gosh, the players are sick. So now you got fans out there saying, "Oh, look what the Chiefs did." They're, excuse. You know the people, man. People.
I do agree that the Chiefs have some sort of double magic going on. There's just no way.
All right, bro. All right. Yeah. Jokes aside. I feel like that's a good one. That's a good one. Jokes aside, though, I feel like the Chiefs, their O-line matches up well against the Eagles D-line. I mean, you telling me that you're telling me that the Eagles are gonna stop? Now they have a solid pass rush, but do you think that the Eagles are gonna stop the Chiefs from running the ball?
The Chiefs have one of the worst rushing offenses in the
Yeah,
NFL, actually. So that doesn't really matter. They're
it's not gonna
23rd
be
in
like
Oh,
rushing.
that's
it's not gonna be
fine.
hard
That's
to.
fine. But I mean, Kareem Hunt, Pacheco's back, doing his thing. I'm confident that they'll get a groove in at some point in this game. Do I think that they're the ones going to win the game for the team? No, I think when the ball's in Mahomes' hands, that's who you need the ball to be in his hands, right, for him to do his thing. But this is one of those games where I do agree with you. The trenches matter. Trenches matter in every game for real, but especially with the Eagles and the way they run their offense. They're going to run the ball from the first play of the game for the Eagles is going to be a handoff to Saquon because we know that you'd rather have the ball, quite frankly, you'd rather have the ball in Saquon's hands than you would Jalen Hurts. And that's just the reality. You'd rather have the ball in Saquon's hands than you would your QB1. And the Chiefs don't have that liability.
I think something I'm kind of looking out for, I always kind of shout them out. I'm very curious to see how special teams plays on both sides of the ball. I feel like whoever can make that big play on special teams, like whether it's a kick return, whether it's just getting good field position, the punt game, like field goals, I think that's going to be whoever can win that side of the ball, I think probably is going to take it. And I believe Kansas City will.
What about the hidden heroes? When I did rewatch the last Super Bowl between the Chiefs and Eagles, right? They were like hidden heroes of the game. I remember even watching it, like not even just the highlights I'm talking about, but watching that. I remember watching the game live last time. They were like them hidden heroes. Nobody expected Kadarius Toney to ball out the way he did last Super Bowl against the Eagles. Now he's not with the team anymore, and we kind of already know why. But this time, give me some hidden heroes. You think Jahan Dotson might step up for the Eagles? You think? Because I'm telling you, this has been
Hell no.
No, I don't see
Hell
no
no.
Doxson.
He's been
He
playing
gonna
pretty
sit
well.
there and do what he been doing. He gonna get cardio in. He ain't doing the damn thing. He gonna
I
sit
think
there
the
and
hidden
get cardio.
heroes is
He's
going to be
getting
on the
free
defensive
reign.
end.
Come on, man. I don't want to hate on my guy Jahan, bro. All right.
Hell no.
Nah, Jahan is solid. I think he's going to do well.
I think he gonna run
No.
cardio. Mess around.
I think the hidden heroes that you were mentioning is going to be on the defensive end for Philly, though. Like the
I
Cooper
say
DeJean, those white boys, they're going to be making some
Oh,
plays.
Blankenship's a dog. Blankenship. I would love Blankenship's on Washington, bro. He's a dog.
They both are. So, I mean, it's going to be a good game. While this game's going on, be thinking of you, Tyrus, all these points you're making.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be thinking of you too, dog. Because the way you talking, dog. I'm gonna be honest. You sound like this Dallas Cowboys fan by the name of James, who was on this channel recently. We're gonna get him on here soon. I don't know if he's tuned in. My dog James. When we
Same
talk about the
Commanders
NFC,
hater.
he said,
I
what?
am hating on the Commanders right now. So if that's where we draw similarities, then
No, it's not just that. No. Where y'all draw similarities at is his main point for why the Eagles would beat the Commanders and why the Eagles would win it all was that he just kept bringing up the point. No one's gonna stop Saquon. No one's stopping Saquon.
That's
They're
not
gonna
the only
keep running
point I
the ball.
brought up, though. That's not the only point I brought up.
That's not the only point you brought up, but I think that point is being regurgitated to its deathbed. At the end of the day, there's games where you can't stop the run and you still find a way to win, bro. There's games like that.
Rarely, Tyrus, you played football.
Rarely.
If you cannot stop the run,
but those rare moments are always Kansas City.
So when is the last time they did this in the Super Bowl when they couldn't stop a run?
I'm lagging a little bit. What'd you say?
Oh, is it me or is it you?
Am I good?
You're good. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you repeat your question? My fault. I couldn't hear you. I was lagging.
It was somebody else, though. We've been kind of. Yeah, I haven't heard much from Mr. Hemphill.
I'm just like, sitting back.
Yeah, how you
hearing
feel?
Everybody talk and stuff right now. But so you was talking about hidden, players and stuff. I would say mine would probably be Kim Gainsborough. And the reason why, that'd probably be a weird take right there, but the reason why, I see they're going to be like tuned into what Saquon Barkley going to do. Or then as soon as Saquon Barkley probably come out of the game, they put Kim Gainsborough in, whether it's like, Saquon Barkley probably tired or whatever. I feel like, Ken Gaines where he gonna like, do his part and like make a play or something or two. And it's gonna be inevitably going to be like the turning point in the game where people gonna be like, oh, not so much of you remember the play that Saquon Barkley did, but the random play in the fourth quarter that Kim Gainesville did that turned out to be like the game play in the game. But I don't think I gave my score prediction yet. I say it's going to be Chiefs is going to win. As I said, Ken's game was going to be like the saving play. He's going to keep the Eagles in the game, but I say Chiefs going to win. I say Chiefs win 27-23. I see
27
their
20.
defense is going to come up big because their defense have been the main factor point throughout the whole year for them, including the playoffs. Josh Allen, he almost did his awards in championship game, but I do see the Chiefs defense coming alive and being the one and very only team that probably could say that they at least, I wouldn't say stop Saquon, but at least limit him. Because Saquon, he's still gonna get his. He's still gonna get
Exactly.
his, 100, plus yards. I say that, he's not gonna go crazy like, the monster 250 or whatever that, everybody been seeing from every game he played so far.
Keep
Fair
in
point.
mind too. Keep in mind too. I'm just make this quick point. You brought up the Chiefs defense, and one thing they love to do is blitz. Steve Spagnuolo is going blitz. Jalen Hurts, you put on the tape, you blitz Jalen Hurts, he's going to do two things, maybe three. One thing he's going to do, he's going to lob it up to AJ Brown. Guess what? Guess who's going to be on AJ Brown? It's not going to be Marshawn Lattimore with a messed up hamstring. It's not going to be rookie Mike Sanders still. It's going to be Trent McDuffie, a top 10 DB.
All pro
Trent
McDuffie.
McDuffie. All pro. No,
All pro.
we're not talking about random guys who just can't get it done, okay?
Who gonna guard Devontae?
McDuffie. Oh, number two. What's he going to do number two when he's getting blitzed? When he drops back and doesn't hand it off to Saquon, surprisingly, the rare time he doesn't, hand it off.
They call me a Jalen
He's going
Hurts
to
hater.
what? He's going to check it down. I'm not a Jalen
They
Hurts
call
hater.
me a
I'm not-
Jalen Hurts hater. I just keep it real and say he ain't elite. That's all I say.
What else is he going to do? Number two, if he's not lobbing it up to AJ Brown, he's going to check it down to Devontae Smith on a cross route. Be mindful of what I'm saying right now because you're going to see it on Sunday. Number three, he's going to pass the ball away because he can't. The blitz is too much. He's going to pass the ball
You
away.
didn't mention his legs, bro. He could.
No, his legs
Give
is a
y'all
factor
two
too,
Jalen
right?
Hurts is not going
On Steve Spagnuolo's
That's
blitzes.
the silent killer.
Man, y'all hating, man, because my man's
that's the X
chains
factor.
was shining.
That is the X factor for them. His legs. It ain't gonna be his arms. It's gonna be his legs. Guarantee you.
Didn't he get hurt against the
Game,
Rams
it's
though?
legs. Huh?
He got hurt against the Rams though.
A little blunder, but he good to go. Don't worry about my
First of
man.
all, his big time runs
His
in the
chain's
playoffs
gonna be
this year,
shining in those Super Bowl. It's gonna be a masterpiece to
He
watch.
wins MVP
Jaden,
because of his legs, not because of his
y'all
arms.
talking about his legs, right? Which I respect. His legs are a key part of his game and what makes him a solid quarterback. But Jalen Hurts in this playoff run, let's not make any mistakes about it. The only time where he really showcased his legs was against the Los Angeles Rams, where he had like a 60-yard run against us. Those rushing touchdowns were what, like 5 yards or 1 yard? Like, are we serious, bro?
But that's still like you rush for 3 touchdowns in an NFC Championship. Like Lamar did
Yes,
that.
it is. It is impressive, but I'm saying like
Okay.
on a blitz, I'm saying it's gonna get there. I'm saying like Steve Spagnuolo, when he brings that blitz, bro, I'm saying that Jalen Hurts more times than not with his tendencies, I don't expect him to rush. I think he's gonna, go to his safety blanket and AJ Brown and throw that lob. I will give Jalen Jalen Hurts credit. He is a solid deep throw passer at times. Sometimes he's just inconsistent with it, but he gonna throw that lob to AJ Brown, and whatever happens. Basically, that's what he does when he's under pressure.
So who do you think's winning that matchup, McDuffie or Brown?
It's going to be back and forth. I don't think it's going to be necessarily swayed like one way. I think AJ Brown's a solid receiver and he's, a star for sure. But I'm confident in Trent McDuffie. People always want to make it seem like, the Eagles are just better. They're better at you because they have the better players at everything. First of all, football is different than just, you're better on paper. They still got to go out there and play, bro. AJ Brown, there's been times this season where AJ Brown got strapped by Mike Sainristil. Did you watch that game? So if there was games in the season where he could get limited or even locked up in games,
Whoa.
you tell me Trent McDuffie can't do that?
Did you just say AJ Brown got locked up by Mike Sainristil when Kenny Pickett was throwing at him?
No, the first game.
No, I'm talking about the first game against the Eagles, the first game against the Eagles in Philly.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Before we even traded for Marshawn Lattimore. I know I'm right. Thank you.
You're right. You're right.
For Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Who's throwing in the ball then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Y'all right. Hey, my fault.
Okay.
Yeah, it is your fault, pal. You need to.
Yeah, that was Sainristil's coming out party, that Eagles game.
I would say part was the Detroit game. That's when he really showed everybody.
Oh, that was his best game, bro. He had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I feel like his radar was that Eagles game. That's when I really started looking at him. At least me.
What?
I feel like that Eagles game is when I really started paying attention and turned my head. And the Eagles game. Yeah.
I mean, Sainristil had a really good rookie year. I felt like he should have been a defensive rookie of the year candidate. But like I said, a lot of people kept in the playoffs, they kept saying, well, I've heard this about Washington, I've heard that. Then they turn on the NFC Championship and be like, oh, they clearly didn't deserve to be there. Like fans that didn't really watch us will say whatever about us, but like Sainristil was a dog. He was our best defensive back this year. Marshawn Lattimore, they traded for him, and he still has to, he still has to show himself because he was kind of banged up. So,
best defensive player.
Who, Sainristil?
Yep.
I'm gonna take Louvu though. I'm gonna take Louvu.
17 games. I watched 17 games. I watched all games, every play.
I would say Wagner.
Bobby was that glue.
No, it was definitely not Bobby Wagner. No disrespect to Bobby.
He let y'all team in tackles, bro. Come on.
That's good. He gets tackles. Unfortunately, he can't run sideline to sideline anymore because he's too slow. He's too old.
That's what you got Louvu for.
I respect Bobby. I would love to bring him back
down the stretch.
I value. Maybe it's just my preference. I value the explosiveness of Louvu. I think he was the best linebacker on our roster, and that's how I feel. Louvu not being a Pro Bowler was disrespectful to me. I mean, and it showed that it's a name game. It's a name game.
Who you taking away? Who you taking away from Louvu? That we're gonna have to get into.
He was a top five linebacker.
Did you watch the NFC Championship?
I know Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu's a stud, but you say he should be in a Pro Bowl. So who are you taking out?
I'm taking Bobby Wagner out. I just told you that Frankie Louvu. Bro, I just told you that Frankie Louvu was the best player best defensive player, and I feel like he's the best linebacker on our team right now, bro. It's no disrespect to Bobby.
So who you taking out the Pro Bowl?
To be Pro Bowlers.
You say he should be in a Pro Bowl. So who are you replacing him? Like who you taking out the Pro Bowl and putting Frankie Louvu in? Because there's a lot of linebacker talent in that Pro Bowl.
I just told
Frankie.
You, bro.
Frankie Louvu is second team All Pro this year. He should be. He deserves to be in the Pro Bowl. Like,
thank you, bro. They up here trying to make me seem like I'm crazy. Like Frankie Louvu would be your best. He would be your best linebacker, bro. He would be your best linebacker.
But also saying a lot.
But also, I don't think Pro Bowls mean anything. If I'm a player, I'd rather be All Pro than a Pro Bowler being a fucking fan vote. So I really don't care that he didn't get in the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowls don't mean a damn thing.
Maybe you're right, bro.
I would be All Pro. But yeah, Mikey was our best defensive player. Louvu was inconsistent down the stretch. He didn't make enough plays towards the end of the season like he was at the beginning.
So you're taking him over Zach Bond or Fred Warner?
No. I just told you I was taking Frankie Louvu over Bobby Wagner. I wouldn't take Frankie Louvu or Bobby Wagner over Fred Warner and Zach Bond.
You kind of breaking up, so I can't really hear you.
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. It was kind of in and out though.
All I was saying was I'm taking Frankie Louvu over Bobby Wagner, but I wouldn't take either of them over Fred Warner and Zach Bond. Neither.
Oh, that is right. Because Bobby did get in it. Forgot
Yeah,
about that. He was. Yeah, I forgot about
Bobby's
that.
a
That's
Pro
why I was
Bowler.
confused.
And I respect Bobby, but I just feel like at this point in his career, I would bring him back, but I just feel like sideline to sideline explosiveness, I value that a lot more. And I think that Frankie Louvu, if you watch that NFC Championship, and if you watch my video of reacting to the NFC Championship post game, I made it clear, and I'm going to stand on what I said that day. The only people on that field, on the defensive end, that shouldn't be ashamed of the way they played is Frankie Louvu. He's the only person in that NFC Championship on the defensive end that showed up and balled out. Everybody else should be ashamed of how they played, but not Frankie. He balled out.
I mean, yeah.
That's just how I feel. That's what I mean. That's how I feel. I can understand if somebody disagrees. I mean, when you give up 55, nobody can really hold their chest out. You feel me?
Quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, but
Like he was one of the only players, offense or defense, to me that really showed out. Like I say, Jane Daniels, he did his part too to like try to keep us in game. But
We talk about this.
oh yeah, no, I just mean on the defensive end. I mean, the offense. There were some guys who showed up. Terry, he did his thing in the first half. Jaden did his thing, but more so back to the Super Bowl topic. I know that a lot of people feel like with this win that it kind of makes a move in the quarterback all-time position. And I made a video last night about, and I dropped it. It's on the 4th and Goal Instagram and YouTube. I kind of made my opinion clear that if Patrick Mahomes wins on Sunday and completes the three-peat, if the Chiefs win this game on Sunday, Patrick Mahomes is now the number 2 greatest quarterback in NFL history. That's how I feel. Can we agree on that?
I would say yes.
You don't mute. Both of
He was
y'all
already
mute.
number 2 in my opinion.
He's already 2?
Yeah, I think he's already 2. I mean, people who it's not really a lot after Mahomes and Brady. Who you gonna put?
Joe
Manning?
Montana?
Peyton Manning?
I mean, Joe Montana, Manning, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
What are we? I mean, come on.
Montana. Drew Brees, nah. He only won 1 ring. He's most accurate quarterback. Yeah, but he's not the greatest. Montana.
It's not
Montana
just
had a
about
Super
the
Bowl. We're
rings,
talking
bro.
about Jalen Hurts. But that's what we're talking about. Patrick Mahomes wins this, right? He would three-peat.
It's
That's the first time it's ever been done.
It's not just about the rings. We know the player that Patrick Mahomes is statistically, and he's shown us who he is clutch-wise. It's like, okay, Drew Brees is up there as fun. In my opinion, he's up there as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time for sure. And that's not
So
just
you have Brady, Mahomes, Manning. So you got 2 more spots. Montana has to be on there just by what he accomplished. Brett Favre has 5 MVPs. I'm not saying he's top 5. I'm just naming guys who could have that spot. There's a lot of guys. Who else?
Dan Marino.
Elway. Marino, Elway.
Rodgers.
Hey, hold on. You're missing somebody. You are missing somebody.
You better say Jaden Daniels. Did you say that?
Don't say Jane Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
And it was a 3-peat before Dallas. Didn't they 3-peat? I'm pretty sure they 3-peated with Troy Aikman.
No, there was no 3-peat ever.
Dallas didn't 3-peat?
No.
You sure?
Nope. Because the Chiefs actually just went to what's that guy's name? The Miami Heat general. Is he a GM?
You talking about Pat Riley? Oh, Pat
Riley, the OG legend, Pat Riley.
Pat Riley.
And they trade. He has the trademark. He owns the trademark to 3-peat, so they had to go to him and pay him some bread, so the Chiefs could use it if they possibly win on Sunday. People saw that, and this is what's wrong with people, bro. Like they saw that the NFL paid Pat Riley for the trademark of 3-peat, and you got folks saying the fix is in. They already decided the Chiefs are going to win. They got to pay for it ahead of time. It's called making moves ahead of time, being prepared. Like, man, what's wrong with people, man? What's wrong?
But I do think. What?
the same way that before the Super Bowl, there's already shirts that say Eagles Super Bowl champion, Chiefs Super Bowl champion. Like, do people not understand preparation?
Oh yeah, but I think this may be a hot take, but if Mahomes three-peats, bro, he's the GOAT, dog.
Well, he's not
whoa.
better than 12. He's
I'm
not
just
better than
saying. I'm just
12.
saying. If we go by Tom Brady at this age versus Mahomes at this age, Mahomes is better. Tom Brady's had more talent. Tom Brady's first three rings was. Come on, we want to talk about talented teams now. Let's be honest here. The Patriots and Bill. Like, come on, Mahomes, bro.
The Patriots beat better teams though. The same
Did
way,
they really?
the same way that when we compare LeBron and MJ, LeBron beat better teams in the finals than MJ did.
The LeBron take I agree with, but the
They beat
Brady
better
take I
teams.
don't know if I agree with that one.
The
They
reason I
beat
would
Kurt
say
Warner
he's
and the
not be
Rams and stuff.
Warner, I mean, Warner had the greatest rookie season.
Let's not act like he's the GOAT. Even though he
Kurt
didn't have
Warner.
the greatest rookie season, he didn't win a ring when he was a rookie, bro. He didn't win a ring when he was a rookie. People confuse that all the time. He won a ring, I believe, as a sophomore in his sophomore year.
He had the greatest first starting season. My fault.
Yeah, well, we know who the greatest rookie is, so be careful what you say, brother.
Yeah.
It's
I
JD.
should have known. I got to tread carefully around Mr. Filson.
Yeah, JD5, man. JD5.
I think for him to, I
What a great
don't.
player.
This is going to be very kind of hot takeish, but it's not really hot takeish. But I don't think he can be the GOAT, since he didn't beat the GOAT. You can say, well, they didn't have a great enough team. I just think he has to three-peat, and then he has to win some more Super Bowls.
Facts.
I think it's going to be very difficult.
It is.
Because that man has how many Super Bowls?
7, bro. 7.
He got 7. He got more than Jordan.
Mahomes wins this. Doesn't that make this how much?
Yes.
4?
And I think that's going to be very difficult for him to get.
Sub
I think
30?
that's going to be very difficult for him to come back and get 3 more.
So you have 4 Super Bowls before you turn 30, and Brady played till he was 44.
Brady was a top 10 quarterback in his last season.
Mahomes was always top 5 since he entered the league. Well, the season after he entered the league, he's always a top 5 quarterback. Actually, top 3.
I feel like can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My fault. I'm lagging again a little bit. I feel like Pat Mahomes, the only way he can really become the GOAT is if he wins Sunday, completes the 3-peat, and I feel like he has to get 7 rings or more, because when you lose, let's say he even gets 7 rings, the argument is still going to be he has the same as Brady, but let's compare the fact that they played head to head in the biggest game, pretty much the biggest game in the world outside of the World Cup. This is the biggest sporting event, which is the Super Bowl. He lost to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady was not even in his prime. He was old.
Don't disrespect the GOAT. He was still cooking. Still was top 10.
12 is 12, man. You can dislike him. You can not like him. That's your preference. I didn't like 12 when he was playing. I was one of those. I didn't like 12, but you know what I did do? When 12 played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, I had to root for 12. I had to root for 12. Now I didn't come out on the right end of that, but hey, I respect Tom Brady, and I think he's the GOAT. Nobody can really argue that, man. You can't make that argument. You really can't.
The argument that people are making, they're making this argument because, one, Tom Brady never 3-peated, and number 2, if Mahomes wins his 4th Super Bowl, the trajectory he's on is kind of crazy. That's the point they're making when they say he's the GOAT.
Even if he wins the Super Bowl this year, right? I have him at 2, right? If he wins the Super Bowl, right? And you can make the case he's already there, right? But even if he wins the Super Bowl, that's 3, right? And the trajectory is going up. But there's still a man in Washington who wears number 5 who stands in the way.
All right.
Of that happening.
I'll see you guys later. Hey.
Nah, I'm playing. But no, I really do believe that there's going to be some quarterbacks that stand in his way. Like Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow, they can't keep going like this. At some point, they're going to get over the hump. At some point.
That point isn't now. So until they
One of
actually
those
could prove that
quarterbacks
they
went
could
to the
get
Super
over that
Bowl, and
hump,
actually
I
beat
still say
Mahomes.
Oh,
But
I think
okay.
Zaire said he's about to leave, and I'm about to leave too. So
I will say that definitely Patrick Mahomes is in the top two. Is Brady will forever be number one until Patrick Mahomes get how many ever rings or plays however better. But yeah, but as I said, this was an interesting conversation. Even though I joined late, but we'll see on Sunday. We'll see. We will see on Sunday. I may go to sleep and wake up and there's three Pete's everywhere, or as I said, a Chief Pete. But we'll see. I'm still gonna go with the Eagles. So
Hey man, appreciate you joining, bro. It was
you're
good
welcome.
talking with you, man. Appreciate you, dog.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
You too, man.
Thank you.
Blessings.
all right.
yeah, we heading out as well, man. Tyrus, thank you for always inviting. It's the first time we ever collabed. We got to do this more often though. So
For
for the
sure,
Super Bowl,
brother.
I'm definitely gonna be on here because I'm gonna have to talk my talk when the Eagles come out on top. So,
We gonna see, man. We gonna see. And I appreciate you coming on the channel. I know we
of course.
trying to work this out for a while. Appreciate you, man.
Mm.
You brought that
Sure.
energy, bro. Great conversation, brother.
Yes, sir. You know, we always got to argue whenever we get 2 hours. Dang, it felt like 30 minutes.
That's what I'm saying, man. Great conversation, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Y'all take care. Nice meeting y'all too, William and Julian.
Nice
Yeah,
meeting
man.
you.
Next up, we gotta do the Super Bowl recap. If y'all want to do that, man,
Yes, sir.
Dang.
Sure.
for sure. But yeah, man. We've been going for a while, so I want to wrap it up here. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, as well as follow to the Fourth and Goal Sports Instagram page, which will be in the description. And you guys have any last words before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna say my same thing, my same old spill. Go Chiefs. I'm an honorary Chiefs fan on Sunday. I will hate watch. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and the rest of y'all, please bring my team back to DC. Please get us back to RFK so that stadium can be rocking when we host the playoff game and let that jump be shaking. So yeah, go Commanders.
As a fellow Command fan, I say, next year is our year. It's gonna be like that every year, but hopefully next year is really our year. I hope the Chiefs win. I actually think they will win. Not just saying that based off bias. I actually, believe that they will win. So yeah, hope Chiefs win.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it was great having y'all on. Appreciate y'all coming on. We're gonna see how this Super Bowl goes. This is a big one, man. This Super Bowl really affects a lot of guys' legacies, and
They do.
I just can't wait to see how the Super Bowl is gonna shake out. But for now, I want to say thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace.
Peace.